the final score. Syracuse 45, Boston College 17. Coming up next, more exciting college football action as the number 7 Alabama Crimson Tide take on the number 6 Tennessee Volunteers. We'll join Pat O'Brien and Craig James in our studios in a moment.
Sponsored by Zostrix, the topical pain reliever arthritis specialists choose for their families. The topical pain reliever arthritis specialists choose for themselves and their families needs no prescription. It's Zostrix. In a national survey, rheumatologists chose Zostrix 11-1 over the next leading brand. Rheumatologists choose Zostrix for their own.
Want to guess what this guy does for a living? He helps steer American tourists to Asian prostitutes, some as young as 15. Tune in Sunday and watch Ed Bradley nail him.
CBS, welcome home.
Dalton, Georgia, the carpet capital of the world. Home of Ron Epps International Isuzu, where you'll find superior excellence in sales, leasing, parts, and service. The International name continues to hold the strongest resale value in the market. And Ron Epps International can accommodate any application, from the 20,000-pound GVW to the large 80,000-pound GVW. See the complete line of International and Isuzu trucks today at Ron Epps on South Hamilton for sales, lease, parts, and service. Ron Epps International Isuzu.
Folks, let's meet Cindy Lou, one of our finalists.
That's
my girl.
Cindy Lou, honey, what would you do to make the world a better place?
I'd buy Ma and Pa a new 4x4.
Nelson Power Sport, your truck authority, offers you a new 96 Ranger XLT for $139.55 a month.
Could you tell us the difference between a 4x4 and a 2x4?
Well, 4x4 is a truck, and a 2x4 is what I'd use upside your head if you don't get your hands off me.
Nelson Power Sport, Southlie Highway across from Bradley High.
It might surprise you that new homes heated and cooled by electricity are better than ever. In fact, under the Energy Right program, these electric homes are the most comfortable, cost-efficient homes you can buy. And they're built to save a whole lot more than electricity. They're designed to save money, too. Introducing the Energy Right program. Call your local power company for more information. And then come on in. Make yourself comfortable.
WPEF.
I'm Pat O'Brien along with Craig James, and these are the toughest tickets in town right now. They're tickets to Game 6, Yankees, Atlanta.
This is Game 1, the rain out.
That's the one I gave you. And you're an American League guy, aren't you, tonight?
Yeah, I'm going with John Wetland, the bullpen of the Yankees.
All right, we're your ticket to college football today. We're glad you're with us on this Saturday afternoon. Alabama, Tennessee coming up next. Big game.
Big game. You know, it's a big play game. If Alabama can make some big plays, they keep their defense in it. If Tennessee gets the big plays going and they get Joey Kent and Jay Graham on the ground and through the air, Peyton Manning will lead them up.
All right, let's talk about, let's pick up the scoreboard right now, and let's begin in the Big Ten. Northwestern now leads 27-24, just a few ticks on the clock left in this ball game. And this is Illinois scoring, and then Northwestern came down, got within 5 yards, and couldn't get it done. And now this one put them up.
Steve Schnurr was awesome all day. Brian Musso, Dwayne Bates, they really did a nice job. But the offensive lines would allowed Adrian Autry to go over the top 30 carries, 128 yards on the day, 2 touchdowns. Northwestern, the offensive line really kept them in the game.
I'm stutter-stepping there because I can't believe Northwestern continues to pull these magical acts off.
Absolutely.
All right, in the SEC, Mississippi State, LSU, just horrible weather in the fourth quarter, 28-17. Kevin Falk having a big day.
He's an excellent player. This time here, the strike up the middle of the field. He is one of the players in the SEC that I think in the future holds the best running backs in the country.
2 touchdowns, 167 yards, and threw for a touchdown pass today. LSU leads Mississippi State 28-17. BYU and TCU 7-0 in the first quarter. It's homecoming today in Fort Worth, and Dustin Johnson caps it.
Yeah, everybody's looking at Steve Sarkisian, the quarterback, who's got a great pass efficiency rating, but Dustin Johnson takes it in. BYU up 7-0.
With the win, BYU will have its best record of 10-9 games since 1990. In the Big 12, Oklahoma and Kansas State, 21-7 in the second quarter. K-State quarterback Brian Cavanaugh, 2 touchdown passes on the day. In the Big 10, Penn State and Indiana, 27-20 now in the fourth quarter, and Penn State gets the lead here.
Yeah, they had to get rid of Wally Richardson. He was only 3 of 7, 21 yards. They come back, put it on the ground. Chafee Fields with a touchdown run, and without Wally, the defense and the offensive line, the ground game had to pick it up.
27-20 in the fourth quarter. Out in the WAC, Tulsa and Utah, 24-3 in the second quarter. Mike Fouts, nephew of Dan, has touchdown passes for Utah.
One of the best quarterbacks out there in the far west.
24-3 in the second quarter. In the SEC, South Carolina and Vandy. South Carolina star back Deuce Staley left the game with a sprained ankle, but Scott Moritz had 2 touchdown runs in his absence, 22-0 in the second quarter. Virginia Tech and Pittsburgh. The Hokies struggled all day, Craig James, but they went on to win in the final there, and Jim Druckenmiller had a nice day with Sean Scales.
And I think you talk Druckenmiller, you talk about strength overall of the whole team. They finally wore Pitt down. This pass here to Sean Scales, a long bomb, touchdown. 2 touchdown passes on the day for the big man Druckenmiller.
And the Hokies struggle, but get it done. The number that counts is that one. 34-17 was the final there. In the Big East, a couple of 1-6 teams. 21-17, Rutgers leads Temple in the third quarter. In the Big 12, Texas Tech and Texas A&M, 13-10 now in the fourth quarter.
Dante Hall, you talk about a little midget. This guy here, great job protecting the football. This puts them up, Texas A&M. But then Tech comes back, scores again, makes it 13-10. And Byron Hanspart has been spectacular on the day.
Sounds like an old Cotton Bowl score, doesn't it? 13-10 in the fourth quarter. Big 12 also, Iowa State and Baylor. There's Northwestern and Illinois. That's a final now, 27-24. And let's take a look at the tape. Here's the interception that ended the game. Barry Gardner picks off Illinois' Scott Weaver, and Northwestern is going to win its 13th conference game in a row, Craig James.
It's once again, turnovers, opportunities. They pick the ball off. Northwestern continues, no longer Cinderella, just the fact they're a good football team.
Marty and Evanston tonight, 27-24. Back to that Iowa State-Baylor score, 21-14 in the second quarter. Todd Doxson has 2 touchdown passes for Iowa State.
Baylor used to have great defense, used to have pride. They do have good athletes, but Chuck Reedy, they got to turn it around down there. They've got too much to be this bad.
All right, also in the Big 12, Oklahoma State, the Cowboys, and the Tigers of Missouri, 14-7 at halftime. Another homecoming game there. In the Big 10, Wisconsin, perhaps a let-up from last week's letdown. Michigan State leads 30-13.
Yeah, Michigan State quarterback Todd Schultz to Cedric Urban in the end zone for 25 yards. The touchdown put the Spartans up by 10, and you're right. Emotionally, Wisconsin just did not show up today.
Get it done today, 30-13. They've now lost 4 in a row. It's his longest losing streak since 1991. A bad week in Madison. In the ACC, Maryland and Duke. How about this one? A close game, 22-19.
Yeah, good game for Maryland, and Fred Goldsmith and Duke, they're just continuing to try to find something. They've lost 8 in a row, and it's not looking good.
Central Florida and Georgia Tech, the Yellow Jackets now leading 20-6. They are in the third quarter. And Navy and Wake Forest. We talked about Navy earlier. The midshipmen put 47 points so far in the day.
I mean, they've scored a lot of points several times this year.
All right, next Saturday at noon Eastern Time is college football today. That's us. And then doubleheader action featuring the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame against Navy in the Shamrock Classic from Dublin, Ireland, followed by regional coverage of either Georgia and #1 Florida or Syracuse at West Virginia, a Big East showdown. And that'll be next weekend. And look at this score. Columbia continues its streak, trying to go to 6-0, 13-10 over Yale.
What was that? First time in like a half century they've started 5-0?
First time in a long time. I don't have the exact number, but we'll get that for you, okay? Let's talk about Alabama, Tennessee. How big a game is this down in the SEC?
Well, it's so big that, you know, you have people down there talking about Gene Stallings needing to win the ball game. I mean, he didn't have to win anything. He's won 60-plus ball games over 6+ years. The guy knows how to win. As long as they can play consistent on offense and not turn it over, their defense will give them a chance at an ugly victory.
All right, how about that Notre Dame game next week? We talked about it earlier. They're out of the championship picture, but a big game for recruiting perhaps for Notre Dame.
And for Navy. Can Navy continue to recruit and go out and get some players? I mean, they go out there, they go on the road. It's a great opportunity for them to show America against Notre Dame that they do have the type of athletes that they can go up and compete with the big boys.
These academies keep playing like this. We're going to have an awfully big Army, Navy, and Air Force, aren't we? All these big guys.
The Commanders-in-Chief trophy. It means something nowadays.
Coming up, Alabama and Tennessee. Enjoy the game. We'll see you at halftime.
CBS Sports coverage of college football is sponsored by Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more Americans trust. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be. And by the U.S. Army. Be a part of the toughest, smartest army in the world. Be all you can be.
How do you get this equipment to these troops when there's a river between them? Build a bridge. Problem solving. You need it now in college. Learn it now in the Army Reserve.
All that you can be.
From electronic ticketing to the new 777, United's employee owners have made lots of improvements. Now we're even giving airplane coffee a good name. Starbucks, on board United worldwide. Come fly our friendly skies.
Craig Lambert isn't too worried about how to invest for Zach's college education. That's because he works with a broker from Dean Witter. Together, they developed a long-term investment plan to help take Zach wherever he wants to go.
Clients feel most comfortable with our ability to see things from their perspective.
Now, when Craig looks into his son's eyes, he can see the future and smile. Dean Witter.
We measure success, one investor at a time.
He's too weak to talk.
I'll try a long-lasting Duracell battery.
Wow, it's great to be back! Hey, I just flew in from the coast, and boy, are my wings tired. Actually, I'm strong as an ox. All right, a horse. Okay, a parrot. Bada boom, bada bing! Oh, baby! Oh, I'm killing myself. But seriously, I love you people. You're beautiful.
The Copper Top. No battery is stronger, longer.
The doctor sent me home sick. My wife said flu. I said flu. I walked.
It was impossible to make Wendy's grilled chicken sandwich any more delicious. So we made it bigger. Now our marinated whole breast filet is bigger and juicier. And you can really feel good about eating it.
Boy, do I feel good.
When Alabama and Tennessee take the field, the lineage of this great rivalry must be remembered. Through the years with General Bob Nealon, Paul Bear Bryant, Johnny Majors. Through the years with a young quarterback, Joe Namath. Through the fierce defenders like Leroy Jordan and a determined Reggie White. A year ago, Old Smoky and Tennessee kicked the Crimson Tide, and now they're eyeing Alabama for a second straight year. Peyton Manning has convinced his team they're still in the running for #1. But Bama is ready to unfurl a defense that has the Tide on a roll. Alabama is unbeaten and chasing a championship dream. It's Alabama against Tennessee on CBS. Of autumn have invaded the volunteer campus. You know, General Nealon and Bear Bryant relish this kind of setting. They are the men who built the foundation for football in the SEC. And even though the torch has been passed, the intensity of this rivalry remains. Along the banks of the Tennessee River, the Crimson Tide has rolled into Knoxville. 7th-ranked Alabama against 6th-ranked Tennessee. On an overcast, showery afternoon, the Tennessee Volunteers ready to explode. 4-1 on the year. The only loss was to Florida 5 weeks ago, 35-29. Coach Philip Fulmer and his Volunteers coming out before over 100,000 here in Knoxville, the gateway to the Smoky Mountains. to Neyland Stadium. They have not lost here since 1984. Undefeated on the year and ranked 7th in the country. And good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jim Nance. It's great to have you with us. You know, when you talk about a storied program like Alabama, it's hard to believe you could actually say that they could go through a season somewhat in anonymity, but that's kind of been the case with Alabama this year. 7-0, ranked 7th, but all 7 teams they played unranked at game time. So they're a real mystery. No one knows what to expect, and thus they're a huge underdog today. Terry Donahue is alongside, and Terry, this Alabama team, just who are these guys?
Well, Alabama reflects their head coach, Gene Stallings. He's a disciple of Bear Bryant, which means good, tough, hard-nosed, old-fashioned football. He wants to play great defense, field position, and have a running game that eats up the clock. You're not going to see a lot of high-tech offense with this guy.
Well, when you talk about running the football, we're talking about one man, Dennis Riddle, and he's been really grinding it out the last couple of weeks.
Well, Dennis Riddle likes to carry the ball often, but the Alabama coaches have 2 numbers in their minds, 227. 200 yards rushing, and Dennis Riddle will be a big part of that equation. 27 points is what they feel they need to have to win the game. If they hit those 2 numbers, 227, look for Alabama to win the game.
Well, Peyton Manning, when we were here for the Florida game 5 weeks ago, he started to turn it around at halftime. In the last 10 quarters, he has been sensational. How about Peyton Manning?
Well, Peyton Manning started slow, but he really responded in the second half of the Florida game. And it's not only his numbers, it's a great leadership that he has provided Tennessee in the locker room, enabling them to bounce back after that Florida game. If he continues on a roll today, it'll be roll Vols, not roll Tide.
All right. Well, Michelle Tafoya is rolled. As always, patrolling the sidelines. We're glad to have her with us. Let's bring her in right now. Michelle, take it away.
All right, Jim. Well, moments ago, Phil Fulmer told his Tennessee Volunteers, our pride, our manhood, and our dignity have been challenged. This game is a little bit bigger than most. Well, the magnitude of this rivalry is unmistakable. Take, for instance, the menu changes in Tuscaloosa this week for the Alabama Crimson Tide. Their mashed potatoes were dyed orange, and instead of cola, orange soda was served. And for dessert, orange marmalade pie and cake covered with orange frosting. Now, Alabama linebacker Dwayne Rudd told me he didn't mind the food so much. It was just the incessant playing of Rocky Top at practice and in the locker room that got on his nerves. And that's exactly what Gene Stallings wanted. He wanted an aggravative defense ready to take out its frustrations on the Big Orange. Jim?
Well, those orange mashed potatoes can really make a difference. You ever had any of those, Coach?
I'll tell you, there probably is not a lot of guys that enjoyed that training table meal. Orange mashed potatoes, my goodness.
Last year, Tennessee broke a 9-year winless streak against the Tide, winning down at Legion Field 41-14. And Tennessee has won the toss, elected to receive, and William Watts boots it. Terry Fair, the nation's leading punt returner, running it back out to the 23-yard line. So Alabama 7-0 and Tennessee 4-1. Quarterback by Peyton Manning, currently ranked 7th in the country in passing. Last year against Alabama, he threw for over 300 yards, becoming the first quarterback in a regular season game to throw for over 300 against a Gene Stallings coached Alabama squad. In fact, there hasn't been another 300-yard passer since. He knocks off those kind of performances by the week. Andy McCullough in as a 3rd receiver. They actually start with 4 wides, and Manning going long as they did last year, and it was dropped by Marcus Nash. A year ago, Tennessee struck for an 80-yard touchdown on the game's first play to Joey Kent. This time, Marcus Nash should have had it near the Alabama 40.
Well, Peyton Manning is able to beat you with his arm and his head. He checked off on the very first play from scrimmage, hit him right in the hands. Marcus Nash has got to make that play to come up with that ball to beat Alabama.
Soggy conditions, on and off showers expected today. Temperature in the high 60s. 2nd down and 10, and Manning rolling out, firing on the run. That was intended for Joey Kent. Covered by Ralph Staten. In the backfield with Manning, Jay Graham, who's starting to get things in gear after a slow start to his year. Ford's the fullback, Kent the most decorated receiver in Tennessee history with Nash and Dustin Moore. On the line, Teague, Robinson, Gibson, Poole, and freshman Chad Clifton on the right side. Kelvin Sigler has come in as an extra defensive back for the Alabama Crimson Tide on 3rd and 10 for Tennessee. Blitzing, and they got to Manning just as he released it. And an impact on the pass that was headed in the direction of Andy McCullough. Heavy pressure by Michael Myers.
Alabama's defensive coordinator, Mike DeBose, felt that one of the keys to the game this afternoon was being able to put pressure on Manning with his front people, not always having to blitz. That's exactly what they were able to do in that particular case.
So 3 and out. Larry Binion with a pretty good rush from Alabama. Binion gets it away. Chad Goss runs it back for about 4 yards. Ball squirted loose at the back end of that, but they're going to rule him down. The 42-yard punt. Special teams have been a little shaky, in fact, for Alabama this year, except for their kickoff return average, which is the best in the entire country.
Well, there's no question Alabama possibly could have fumbled this ball, right?
Oh, he wasn't down, was he?
The ball came out prior to his knee hitting the ground. Alabama's been very fortunate. Nash dropped the opening pass. That was a huge play for Tennessee, and then the fumble right there on the punt return.
Freddie Kitchens directs the Alabama attack. The junior starts out with 2 tight ends, Hape and Rutledge, and a little misdirection play. Riddle near the 40, only about a yard pickup. Dennis Riddle has 10 touchdowns on the season. Sism in the backfield. Michael Vaughn, who caught 2 scores last week. And West, a couple of speedsters. Hape, the tight end. On the line, Samuel's friend, Causey Meadows, and DeMario. Calvin Hall has come in for Bama. 2nd down and 8. Out of the eye. It's Riddle again. He was trying to bounce off the first hit of Ron Green, but Green had a grasp of him. It'll be 3rd and long. Tennessee's defense anchored up front by Leonard Little with Duff and Green and Jonathan Brown, who's been making sacks here lately. Wilson, Hines, and Jester gets the nod today over Craig King, with Austin, Noel, Parker, and Terry Fair in the secondary.
The overall speed of the Tennessee defense is one of the things that Alabama has to contend with this afternoon.
3rd and 7. Kitchens flings it, and that was intended for West. Terry Fair, and Tennessee will get the football back.
Freddie Kitchens has not been a quarterback that has started games as a hot quarterback. He generally has started with a lot of incompletions. It takes him time to warm up throughout the game. Alabama's hoping to get off to a better start with Kitchens than the first series of plays.
So the man who defended that pass, Fair, makes the catch at the 20. And out to the 30-yard line. Both teams with 1 possession, 3 downs and out. We'll have Tennessee with its 2nd series coming up next.
Take it on.
We've shown you Prego is better than Ragu Old World Style. Now here's a thought on why. Prego adds diced tomatoes, Ragu only paste. So Prego's more like homemade. No wonder people prefer Prego almost 2 to 1. Prego homemade taste, it's in there.
Document Company, Xerox.
At Michelin, we believe a tire that's just good in the rain isn't good enough.
The Michelin X1, with a 6-year unlimited mileage tread life warranty, gives you better wet traction than any rain tire, plus Michelin confidence in most driving conditions. It has to, because the way we see it, you don't just cover a lot of miles, you cover a lot of weather. The Michelin X1.
Is your dandruff sending the wrong signals? Get Selsun Power. Doctors recommend Selsun Blue #1, so don't send the wrong signals. Get Selsun Power.
Want to guess what this guy does for a living? He helps steer American tourists to Asian prostitutes, some as young as 15. Tune in Sunday and watch Ed Bradley nail him.
Alabama's defense is the 4th-ranked defense in the country. Let's meet them. Chris Hood, Michael Myers, Ozell Powell, Kelvin Moore on the line. Staten, Buckner, and Rudd, who's a Butkus candidate. The linebacking crew, Bryant, Jackson, Samuel, and Deshae Townsend. Manning was 0 for 3 on first series passing, and here they go for a second crack from their own 30. Jay Graham drives for 3, hit first by Rudd.
David Cutcliffe, the offensive coordinator at Tennessee, he really put a big emphasis this week on Tennessee playing fast offense. What he meant by that is they're going to run a lot of quick dives, a lot of fast hitting plays. Peyton Manning will play fake, get the ball outside as fast as he can. They want to do that to negate the speed of the Alabama defense. They are going to play fast all day long.
2nd and 7. There's play action. Back to Nash through his hands. Fernando Bryant protecting that side. Nash had a problem last year holding on to the football, Terry. Hasn't really surfaced much this season as a problem.
He's been very good this season. This ball is thrown off behind Nash there. It's really not a good throw by Peyton Manning, but it's a good example of getting the ball outside quickly. That is what Peyton Manning and the Volunteer offense wants to do today. Get it outside fast.
They brought Jermaine Copeland in as a slot receiver. In fact, Copeland now is in the shotgun as the quarterback. He doubles as a receiver and quarterback. Here he is, Copeland. On 3rd down and 7, and there are flags everywhere. He was stopped short of the first down at the 40. Jermaine Copeland was caught this season 9 passes, and is also the backup quarterback to Manning. Slipped into the lineup and then into the backfield where they used him out of the shotgun. Let's see the call.
Offside defense. It'll be 5-yard penalty. It'll be 3rd down.
It'll be 2 yards shy of a first.
It's unusual when you see an athlete like Copeland come into the game this early for a quarterback like Peyton Manning. But right here, Tennessee wants to take advantage of Copeland's abilities as a runner. Peyton Manning's a wide receiver over there, just a decoy on the play.
Manning returns to his position under center now, 3rd and 2. Flips it, Kent. Oh, let's see. I don't think he got it. All they needed was 2 yards, and a good stick by Cedric Samuel stopped him about a yard shy.
Joey Kent is the best receiver in the history of Tennessee. He has got to know where those sticks are to make that first down. Again, the ball was a little bit behind him. It did not enable him to turn up and make the first down because of where the throw was. Excellent tackle there by Cedric Samuel.
Michael Vaughn has replaced Goss as the Alabama return man. Binion's second punt of the day. There's Vaughn, sure-handed receiver. They take off from the 15 and twist it down at the 20 by Hines. 46-yard punt. No score. First quarter in Knoxville.
Just up from 40 Deuce and Dream Street, there's a joint that jumps with solid swinging and hep-cat scat. With a Heidi-Ho Man and the Godfather of Soul hit the high notes with every cool in the pool. It's a house on fire called the Cotton Club. Wherever the vibe is hot, and live gigs aren't the only things that cook, because the club chases up some of the best chaff in town. So if you're hip to the scene, grab some threads and bring your Visa card, because the club jives and jukes at a shake, but never with American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
I do not drive to work. I do not drive to get from point A to point B. I do not drive to run away from the world. I just love to drive.
The new 1996 Monte Carlo. Personal space from Genuine Chevrolet. The cars more Americans trust.
Genuine Chevrolet. Cheer, cheer for old Notre Dame. Wake up the echoes cheering her name. Send the volley cheer on high. Shake out the thunder from the sky. What though the odds be great or small? Old Notre Dame will win over all. While her loyal sons are marching onward to victory.
Monday, when the computer breaks down,
I really think you should go to the ATM.
Cosby hits the jackpot.
Run, Hilton. Run like the wind.
All new Big Comedy Monday.
Now, Peyton Manning this week put into perspective the critical nature of this series. Said they told him on campus when he first got here, you can go 1-11 as long as you beat Alabama.
Do you think those people really meant that?
You know better than that as a coach, right? Alabama's second drive, and that's Riddle for about 2. Here's what Peyton had to say about that.
Everybody's wearing the Beat Bama buttons, you know, and a lot of T-shirts made. I mean, when I got here on campus, everybody just said, "Hey, Peyton, I don't care if you go 1-11, as long as you beat Alabama that year." And that's really all that matters. And you know, this game means a lot to so many people on both teams. And so, all we're going to do is go out and try and play good football. I can't really get caught up in all that and all those other things, but I'm going to try and play my best and help my team get a win.
2nd and 8. Bama quarterback Kitchens swings it over to Riddle. It'll be 3rd and about 3 for Bama. Nick Jester with the hit. Manning, we heard from, he's 1 for 5 passing here in the early going, and Tennessee and Alabama both yet to pick up a first down. Billy Ratliff has come in that defensive front.
You know, when you talk about big rivalries like Tennessee-Alabama, when Alabama comes in as a 15-point underdog, the psychological advantage, it really is in their favor. The pressure becomes on Tennessee, not on Alabama. And I think Alabama comes into this game with some advantages.
3rd and 3, and that ball squirted out of the hands of Marcel West. Would have had the first. Tyrone Hines took his arms away. So Kitchens and the Crimson Tide also unable to move the chains.
Now, Freddie Kitchens cannot get frustrated. He's a slow starter. He'll get off to a better start as he keeps working to his tight end athlete or keeps taking advantage of the short passes. In that particular case, he really had a completion. Next time, they'll hang on to that ball. It'll help him get a rhythm for the game.
Hayden Stockton is the Alabama punter. That's Copeland returning it from the 33. Knocks heads at the 40. So good field position coming for the Volunteers. Just 5.5 into the game.
Hey, help me figure this out. Usually the more gizmos you want, the more money you gotta spend. Then there's the Chevrolet Cavalier. It gives you a lot of the same gizmos that make expensive cars easy to live with, for about half the price. If you forget to lock your doors, the Cavalier is still protected by a gizmo called a theft deterrent system. If you leave your dome light on, it turns it off. My house doesn't even do that. Get the car that's easy to own, a Cavalier. Genuine Chevrolet, the cars more Americans trust.
You're ready to quit. Great. Now,
Which patch? With Nicoderm CQ, you cut back your nicotine dose gradually, and gradual is the method doctors prefer. But you can't do that with Nicotrol. You can wear Nicoderm CQ 24 hours, so it's still with you when you wake up. You can't do that with Nicotrol. Highest level of medicine? CQ. And CQ was the patch most prescribed by doctors. Nicoderm CQ. The power to calm, the power to comfort, the power to quit successfully.
On Saturdays, your customers can receive 2-day packages from FedEx. Cost? An extra $10.
On Saturdays, your customers can receive 2 to 3-day priority mail packages from the U.S. Postal Service. Cost? $3. And there's no extra charge.
On Saturdays, your customers cannot receive 2-day packages from UPS. Sorry.
So, what's your priority? Priority mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
Critics agree it's hearty cheers for Ink.
She's a yoga master. Flexibility of a Gumby.
I'm in hell and I'm wearing a big fat parka.
Ink after Cosby, Big Company Monday.
That's Jay Graham with the helmet off. He set the all-time Tennessee season record last year with 1,400 yards. Not off to a great senior season. And got to carry it once in this game and is taken out for Mark Levine right now.
Well, he's got to be a little frustrated. He has had 12 100-yard games rushing, only one this year. Part of the problem has been the rebuilding of the Tennessee offensive line. He has to live through that frustration.
So Jay Graham out. Levine the tailback. First down, Tennessee. There's Levine for 3. Elvin Moore on the hit. Tennessee has started to run the football the last 2 games.
They've definitely improved their running game. They've reworked that offensive line. They lost Jarvis Rito, their big right tackle, who was an outstanding player for them. He's been replaced by a redshirt freshman, Chad Clifton. He's a big 290-pound freshman. The whole line is just trying to get their tempo. Phil Fulmer said they're improving, just not quite as rapidly as he would like.
2nd and 6. Dyron Robinson hobbled off. Spencer Riley replaced him. Levine runs up the middle. First down. And all the way to the Alabama 41. 15 yards for Levine. A nice burst up the middle. That was cleared by Spencer Riley, who had just checked in for the injured Robinson.
Mark Levine has a slashing style of running. This is a trap play. Tennessee has not shown this play to Alabama this year yet. And Dwayne Rudd, 87, came up with the stop at the end.
And there's Riley, a freshman from Newmarket, Tennessee, who has come in for the injured Dyron Robinson. We just had the game's first down. Looking long, post pattern, Kent. Deshae Townsend on the coverage. Kent had just enough room. Had the pass been right there, could have been 6.
Joey Kent was open on the play, had beaten Deshae Townsend. When you play against a team like Alabama that's committed to stopping the run, you want to run play action faking. Right there, it's an example of Peyton Manning faking the play action, then going deep, had him open, just did not put the ball right where he needed to.
2nd and 10. McCullough and Price have joined the starting receiving core in the lineup. The blitz coming, Manning unloads, and he was looking for Andy McCullough. There's a flag. They throw the flag. And Fernando Bryant says, yeah, that's got to go on McCullough. Offensive interference.
If you're a wide receiver, you can never let your hands get away from your body. You can never push off. Andy McCullough pushes off Fernando Bryant. The official's right on the call. It's a good call. The defensive guy, he has a right to play defense. The offensive man, he has a right, but you can't push off. That's what happened.
Offensive pass interference. Be 15-yard penalty. Loss of down, be 3rd down.
That's a huge penalty on the offensive team.
Yeah, he said loss of down will be 4th down. It should, even with the loss of down, only be 3rd down, 3rd and 25. And again, 5 defensive backs for Alabama in the game. This Alabama secondary, 5th in the nation in pass defense, only allowing this year 2 touchdown passes. They picked off 10 passes. That's something that Gene Stallings kind of specializes in here.
They have averaged 17 interceptions every year that Gene Stallings has been the head coach at Alabama. That's a phenomenally high number.
3rd and 25. The Tide pushes them back with Dwayne Rudd.
You go back to that pushing off penalty against Andy McCullough. As a coach, you spend a lot of time talking to your receivers about that very same thing. All-American candidate right there, Dwayne Rudd. This is why he's one of the 11 finalists for the Butkus Award. He fits right into the great tradition of Alabama linebackers.
Halfway through the first quarter, and Tennessee punting for the 3rd time. Binion's kick. Well, it hit at the 1. Was a save. Oh, was that a high-wire act by the Volunteers? Ronnie Pillow, a converted running back, who's a linebacker now. He made the catch inside the 1. But first, it had been saved by a couple of Volunteers, including Mark Ingram.
You talk about special teams, it's not always a return man who makes a big special teams play. Sometimes it's a coverage team that gives you ideal field position. When you back Alabama off, put them on the 1-foot line, you have helped your football team.
Al Wilson saved the ball as it was going into the end zone. Then Ingram, the snapper, tapped it over to Pillow, who downed it at the 1. Bama taking no chances, trying to buy just a little real estate. And that's all Alabama found.
When you're backed up into this area of the field, Jim, it's not a bad idea to go deep. If you're going to go deep, if you want to run a risk play, a high-risk play in this area of the field, take a launch and let one fly from down in here. Otherwise, be very, very careful with the ball because you're dealing with safety territory. You might give up 2 big points early in the game.
Billy Ratliff goes to the Tennessee bench. Watch it from the goal line on 2nd and 9. There you go. Kitchens. He heard your call, Terry. Diving attempt by Calvin Hall. At the 35, it'll be 3rd and 9. Raymond Austin, excellent coverage.
Ray Austin. Ray Austin is a converted strong safety who has moved to cornerback, and he's been picked on this year some because when you're a strong safety, you're more of a run support guy, not quite as good of a cover man. But right there, Ray Austin made an outstanding defensive play. I'll be very surprised if Alabama doesn't run off tackle. That's their mainstay, is to try to punch the ball off tackle. They need a little room for their punter.
3rd and 9. Play action fake, going back to the air instead. And picked off. It's Austin again making the play. Raymond Austin. They tried to pick on him twice. He came up with 2 plays, including an interception at the Alabama 32.
Freddie Kitchens did not have an open receiver on this play. The play is covered. He needed to throw the ball away. Ray Austin is in perfect defensive position to take this ball away, which is exactly what he does. Look at Ray Austin. Is he excited? Now, there's a guy that has sacrificed for the team. He gave up his normal position for the betterment of the team, and he gets to respond with a great defensive effort like that.
Graham back in the game at tailback. Manning wants a timeout. Little confusion there. He talks it over with Chester Ford. We'll take a timeout with Tennessee.
There is a big need here in South Carolina. There's a lot of poverty.
Harvest Hope provides hope. The community does so much for us, just being college athletes.
We wouldn't be able to function without volunteers.
It was amazing to me how many pounds of food they send out each year.
We're up to 5.4 million pounds of food.
I feel great pride to just give back to the community.
Because there's people that need food, there's families, good people.
Harvest Hope would not be able to do their job without United Way.
The SEC and United Way teaming up to make a difference.
Hey, what's up, John?
Hey, what's up, man?
Watch the curve. Yeah, I was driving like my grandmother.
Yeah, you drink like mine.
Give me a break, man. Watch it.
The idea is to keep the car on the road.
Yeah, how about give me another drink?
Yeah, right. I think you've had enough, Pat.
I think that's right. Give me the wheel. Yeah, hold on, man.
I got it, man.
Yo, man, just chill out, man. Yeah, man. Every time I gotta give it about,
Freddie Kitchens throwing the interception. And that's really been the story of this series the last 10 years, the turnover.
Both of the coaches made the point time and time again. Gene Stallings, Phil Fulmer, we don't want to turn the ball over in this game. Last year particularly, Alabama's demise was the turnovers. The historical perspective of the game, the team that turns it over the least is going to win the game.
Raymond Austin's second interception in 2 years of a Kitchen pass sets up the Volunteers from the 32. Graham to the 27, about 5 on that one. Jackson and Samuel.
When you go back and talk about Kitchens, the quarterback, he's been plagued. He's a young quarterback. This is only his 10th start of his career. He's been plagued by interceptions. His career, he's had 12 touchdowns, 14 interceptions. Is not a good ratio, but as he matures as a quarterback, he'll get used to getting off of that covered receiver like the case was and throwing that ball away.
2nd and 5, staying on the ground. And that's Graham short of a first, about 2 yards away from a first down. Rudd on the tackle. Diron Robinson, by the way, sprained ankle is the report. He may not return. So Spencer Riley getting the nod now at left guard.
David Cutcliffe, the offensive coordinator at Tennessee, he made the point this week that the offensive line for Tennessee against the Alabama defensive line could be the key to this whole contest. Tennessee is trying to establish a running game here in this series.
3rd and 2, and Alabama stops it. Ozell Powell. Man, did he get across that line of scrimmage quickly. And Chris Hood. It'll be 4th down. Tennessee 0 for 4 on 3rd down attempt.
Ozell Powell, 78. The defensive tackle will penetrate the line of scrimmage, and he's very quick, laying his body out across the runner there to make that stop in the backfield for negative yardage. The Alabama defensive line loves to penetrate, and with guys like Powell and Chris Hood, they're capable of doing that.
It's a 41-yard field goal try. Jeff Hall got enough leg, but it's wide.
Tremendous series by the Alabama defense. When they come off the field, Mike DeBose, the defensive coordinator, is going to get those guys over and tell them what a great series of downs that they played right there. Because anytime you turn the ball over inside your own 50 and get out of there without any points, you're living right.
Hall now 6 for 11 on the year in field goals. Bill Fulmer's team twice inside of the 50 in this opening quarter with no points. Riddle out to the 31. First time Tennessee moved it inside the 50, they were backed up by a penalty. This time a missed field goal.
Alabama feels like if they can run Riddle often enough and pound him in between the tackles against the Tennessee defense, they will eventually begin to dominate the game. Dennis Riddle is a back who will get stronger and better as he carries the ball more often.
2nd and 3. Riddle, there's a good tackle made by Raymond Austin. We saw him a moment ago on the bench with an ice pack on his right knee. It's just after his interception, but it didn't keep him out of the ball game. That tackle made near the first down yardage. They'll call for the chains. Austin, who as a freshman was the MVP of the Citrus Bowl. And now in his senior years, you mentioned Terry, he's for the good of the team, moved the safety position over to a corner. Jason Parker returned to the Volunteers this year.
It's hard to get players to do that in today's environment. Most players don't want to move and change positions. They're more interested in their own careers than they are in the team welfare oftentimes. And you got to applaud Raymond Austin because he's willing to do that for the Volunteers. That's what I like about the guy.
Well, he made a good tackle, but it was still enough for an Alabama first down. The first Crimson Tide first down of the game. Austin, back in Lawton, Oklahoma, played on the mythical high school national championship team at Eisenhower High School. They went 14-0 his senior year. On first down, Alabama runs it with Sean Alexander, freshman from Florence, Kentucky. What a high school record he had up there in Kentucky. Kentucky Player of the Year, his senior year alone, he rushed for 3,100 yards and 54 touchdowns.
Well, Alabama's deep at tailback, and we'll see Montoya Madden come in here after a while. They'll alternate all three of these tailbacks, and the starter, Curtis Alexander's out with a broken wrist. So you know Alabama's got depth at tailback.
Alexander, Curtis that is, might be back for Alabama's next game against LSU. Kitchens gets away from the pressure, now fires a wobbly ball downfield. It's intercepted. Terry Fair with the interception this time. And Kitchens took a pretty good lick from Leonard Little.
Freddie Kitchens cannot continue to turn the ball over on his offensive team. He's got to be able to make better throwing decisions. Right now, he's a liability for Alabama. Leonard Little right there lays the wood to him. Kitchens is banged up from previous games, but he's got to be able to put that ball out of bounds if a receiver is covered, which in that particular case he is.
Kitchens, he's a big kid for quarterback. I'll tell you, he felt that one for a while. He's 1 for 6 with 2 passes intercepted here in the opening quarter. Tennessee from the 24. Graham sidestepping a defender and getting out to the 33. About an 8-yard run before Kevin Jackson jolted him in the secondary. He got away for a moment from Andre Short. Tennessee's 5th possession, and we're still in the first quarter.
Well, neither team is able to move the ball right now against these defenses, and trying to run the ball against Alabama's defense is a task. Peyton Manning will have to heat it up, and Tennessee will have to keep Alabama spread to move the ball effectively all day.
2nd and 1. And running across the line was Anthony Dowdell from Alabama. Then the ball was snapped, so chaos everywhere. And let's see what they call here.
Have a dead ball. Offside. On the defense.
First down.
5 yards.
That was a designed play by Tennessee, where Peyton Manning goes up. The offensive team knows they're not going to run a play. Peyton Manning goes through his snap count, draws the opposition off. If somebody jumps into the neutral zone, the center snaps the ball. It's become a play that's very popular throughout the country right now. It's a design play to make the defense behave, slow them down, make them not play the snap count.
First down from the 36. Manning looking right side. He's got a man there, Joey Kent, incomplete. Well, Kitchens is 1 for 6. Manning is now 1 for 7. However, he has not thrown an interception. In fact, hasn't thrown an INT in his last 109 attempts.
When you come into a game like Alabama, Tennessee, you expect your big play players to make plays. Joey Kent has to catch that ball for Peyton Manning. You've got to come up big in big games.
Well, passing yards with 1:46 to go first quarter.
Who would have thought that prior to the game?
Dismal. You won't keep Manning's numbers down low for long. There's Price with the grab at the 43. Townsend on the coverage. It'll still be 3rd and about 5. Fearless Price. We saw him catch a 72-yard touchdown against Florida. For Tennessee's first points of that game. But Price comes from Dayton, Ohio, where he was a high school teammate of Andy McCullough, who's been in this game. In fact, was called for that offensive interference penalty earlier. McCullough and Price from Meadowdale High School in Dayton, Ohio. Their parents carpool to all the Volunteer home games. 3rd down and 4. On the blitz from Kelvin Sigler. That's a huge loss all the way back to the 31.
Tennessee was coming off a misdirection play, a naked bootleg. Kelvin Sigler just came on the blitz from the left side of the screen. He comes on the blitz. Manning just had no chance but to eat the ball. He made a good play there. He didn't hurt his offensive team. You live to fight another day.
12-yard loss, and Binion punts again. This one will not be touched by Alabama. Goss lets it die at the 25. 18 seconds to go in the first quarter. Scoreless. We've got a doubleheader weekend coming your way next Saturday here on CBS. The Shamrock Classic will lead things off from Dublin, Ireland. Notre Dame heading over to Ireland to take on the Midshipmen of Navy. And then a split national. Some will see Georgia against the #1 team in the country, Florida, from the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville. They call it the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Others will see Syracuse in West Virginia. Doubleheader day next weekend here on CBS. Alabama, Riddle runs it on a 2-yard gain to close out the first quarter.
You get the feeling that the first quarter went just about as Gene Stallings would like it to go. It's a defensive struggle. Both defensive teams are playing well. Neither offense can move. The closer the game is, the better Alabama likes it.
Two other guys would have liked that first quarter too. General Neyland and Bear Bryant. Scoreless after one. We'll return to Neyland Stadium after this message and a word from your local station.
You need to diverse.
While everyone else is telling you which funds to buy,
Small cap funds.
I'd be looking at the Pacific Rim.
here's a tip on how to buy them. Mutual Fund One Source from Charles Schwab. The funds you want in one place, all with no loads. If your fund doesn't say this, maybe you're making life too complicated. Call now for 6 months of our Mutual Fund Select list free.
1891. Siemens creates apprentice programs to give people the unique skills to build the world's finest precision technology. That was then. This is now. Today in America, Siemens' new training programs prepare a high-tech workforce to handle today's most advanced technologies, like high-quality automation systems to help American industry meet the challenge of the 21st century. Siemens, precision thinking.
CBS, welcome home. Choose a motor oil? Take a ride to your local garage and see what the mechanic puts into his own car. Fact is, of all the brands of motor oil, more ASE certified master technicians choose Valvoline for use in their own cars and trucks. So before you buy a motor oil for your car, know the one more top mechanics put into theirs. Valvoline, the #1 choice of America's top mechanics.
For your next Valvoline oil change, see Capital Toyota or Lexus of Chattanooga. Distributed locally by Whitfield Oil.
Public notice. Ford issued a challenge to Mountain View. Sell 350 cars and trucks in October. We'll meet that challenge with 1-9 financing, 0 down, no payments till next year. Even low prices like Ranger, $7,995, 20 to choose from. Plus markdown prices and over $3 million in used cars and trucks. The challenge is on. 1-9 financing, 0 down, no payments till next year. Low prices. Our goal, to have the lowest prices in the Tri-States with our bottom line guarantee.
Don't miss it at Mountain View Ford, downtown Chattanooga.
You get more for your money. Get more for your money. You get more for your money when you drive through Central Park.
It's new. Our spicy chicken sandwich for just $1.99. Yeah, $1.99 for this savory, lightly breaded filet with spicy seasonings. For a limited time only, and only at Central Park.
You get more for your money when you drive through Central Park. WTEF.
Jim Nance with Terry Donahue, Michelle Tafoya from Knoxville, Tennessee, getting ready for the second quarter. Alabama quarterback Freddie Kitchens, 1 of 6, with 2 being caught by the other side. Nice piece of running here by Riddle, getting out into the open, finally brought down by Parker. Well, he hurdled past a couple of defenders, including Al Wilson. to pick up 19.
Well, Patrick Happ, the tight end, made a great block that enabled Riddle to run off tackle here. He starts wide, then turns it up the field for the run. Riddle is a guy who rushed for almost 1,000 yards last year before losing his job in spring practice. He's got a fire in his stomach. He wants to make the 1,000-yard barrier this year.
But look at the last two games. Over 100 in each of them. Riddle again, breaking tackles, cutting back to the middle, and Leonard Little chases him down at the 33. Noel and Parker had a shot at him. He broke away from the safeties. And he goes from a 19-yard carry to a 21-yard gain.
Once again, Patrick Happ makes a key block. When you're playing against a back like Dennis Riddle, you cannot arm tackle him. You've got to get him wrapped up and bring him down. He's a strong, powerful back, and he'll get stronger as the game goes on.
First trip into Tennessee territory, staying on the ground, and Riddle advances it to the 30. Billy Ratliff and Al Wilson combine on the hit. Leonard Little sitting out of play after making that tackle a moment ago.
Leonard Little did not play well last week against Georgia. Yesterday, in visiting with him, he had made a real commitment to stepping his game up a whole new notch today against Alabama.
Riddle with 60 yards rushing on the game, sits out this play. Alexander in for him. Sean Alexander, blocker in front, cuts it back inside. Oh, that's a firm tackle by Ratliff. Freshman from Magnolia, Mississippi, who they say is going to be a big-time player around here. He drove him back. It'll be third down for Bama, and about 3 to go. Riddle returns.
Alabama is attacking with two tight ends, one on the line and one in a wing position, and the wing position is disrupting the Tennessee defense.
3rd and 3. Hurdling is Riddle, and he is driven back short of the first. About a yard shy of the first down. Noel. Torrey Noel.
I would suspect that Gene Stallings will go for this. They've had some trouble with their place kicking. The ball will be wet because of the rain. I'll be very surprised if Gene Stallings does not go for this.
As Robinson, the offensive lineman for Tennessee, with the ankle sprain, going to the locker room. Stallings is going for it. Little back on the defensive line for Tennessee. 4th and 1. Let's call it 2. No chance. Leonard Little got in there quickly. And Bama denied on 4th and 2.
Leonard Little said he was going to step his game up. He will come from the top of the screen and stuff the fullback, which it creates no running room, no lane for the tailback to get through. And Phil Fulmer has got to love defense when it goes like that for him.
Riddle with some good running on that series, but not on 4th down. Never given a chance at all. Tennessee football.
It is a test, not just of strength, but of the power of the mind. And if you complete the journey, you will be changed forever. The few, the proud, the Marines.
It began just 4 years ago. Today, the GM MasterCard proudly announces that GM card earnings have helped to buy or lease 1 million new GM cars and trucks. The GM card is also proud to be ranked highest in customer satisfaction among rewards credit cards by J.D. Power and Associates. Your key is waiting for you.
Jesse, you're next.
I'm all yours.
Save it for the stage, Romeo. Carol always gives it to me straight. Like when she told me about my...
I told him about Head & Shoulders. Regular shampoos just rinse flakes away so they could come back. Head & Shoulders helps prevent flakes from even forming. You see the difference? You look great.
Thanks, but will it get me this part?
Couldn't hurt.
Head & Shoulders, because great hair can't have flakes.
Hey, break a leg.
Well, for Bama, it would have been a 42-yard field goal try. Instead, they went for it on 4th and 2. Denied by Tennessee, and the Volunteers take over at their own 25.
I thought that was a good call by Gene Stallings. He's had some kicking troubles. And
Mark Levine alternating with Graham. And he gets free for about 8 yards. Samuel finally got him by the ankles. Let's go down to Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Jim, you know, Alabama, if they win today, will be smoking cigars in a tradition started by Bear Bryant back in 1958. But last year, when Tennessee won at Alabama, they had their own cigars. Here are the cigars Alabama rolled into Knoxville with. They've got them packed away in their equipment trunk. But I hear from the Tennessee sidelines, they will also have cigars at the ready should they win today, Jim.
All right, well, right now we're playing to a scoreless game. Levine showing signs of breaking free. Samuel with the hit.
One of the advantages that Tennessee has is that if you get off to a slow start with your quarterback, Peyton Manning, you go and try to reestablish your running game, which is something that Tennessee came into the game wanting to do. They feel that one of the real keys to this game is getting their offensive line to dominate the Alabama front.
So cigar may not be the story at the Breeders' Cup, maybe will be, but that could be the story here after the game. For the winning team, and Peyton Manning on play action has Joey Kent. Good catch. And finally brought down at the 38 by Jackson. 18 yards on that pass.
When you run the ball, then all of a sudden you come back with a play-action fake. What happens is that draws the linebackers up into the line of scrimmage because they're used to playing run. Peyton Manning comes back with a play-action fake there. Joey Kent runs a drag route. He puts the ball right where he needs to. A great play from an outstanding quarterback and the all-time University of Tennessee receiver.
Third trip into Alabama territory, and the Crimson Tide defense comes up with the tackle for a loss. Kelvin Moore, Michael Myers combining.
Well, that big Michael Myers is he cat quick. He's one of the real potentially dominating players on the Alabama front. They liken him to a lot of the great players they've had in the past, but particularly to John Copeland, who plays for the Bengals now.
A lot of comparisons to Copeland because they both came to Alabama from Hines Junior College in Mississippi. 2nd and 11, and Alabama looked to jump. Tyrell Buckner may have scooted across. He knows. By the way, Sean Bryson into the backfield for Tennessee right now.
Lot of people don't understand that this is a design play.
Offside on the defense. Be 5 yards.
By Tennessee. They go through the mechanics of a play. The quarterback runs a normal snap count. As soon as someone jumps into the neutral zone, the center snaps the ball, the quarterback takes a knee, an easy 5 yards. It's excellent strategy to slow down the defense.
2nd and 6. Peyton Manning, 22-3 as a starter in his career. Still has 15 seconds on the play clock, plenty of time. There's Bryson in the backfield. Pass over to Copeland, who lined up for 1 down as the quarterback. He makes the catch at the 31. Their version of Cordell Stewart.
Well, you've got to be impressed with how Tennessee has tried to work Jermaine Copeland into the offense. He played quarterback, ran a quarterback draw. He's played wide receiver. They want to get this athlete the ball today. They obviously have made a real attempt to put him into the offensive fireworks.
3rd and 2. Levine on a wing to the left. Bryson in the backfield. Tennessee 0 for 5 on 3rd down tries. There's just 2 yards to go. Blitz. Manning incomplete. Just had to unload it. Bryson got a hand on it. But 2 Tide defenders bury the quarterback. Chris Hood, Michael Myers, and even Moore was back there. Tennessee will try another long-range field goal.
Michael Myers is going to be one of the outstanding defensive linemen in the history of Alabama, and it's effort and second effort like he gives there that enables him to put that heat on Peyton Manning.
So in the light rain, 48-yard try. Hall, who's already missed once today from 41. And flags down.
Looks like Tennessee moved, which will cost him 5 yards if that's the case.
It's 5 yards you desperately need when you're out there at 48 yards. 53 now really becomes difficult.
Can't see right there.
In fact, now they won't even try the field goal. Fulmer brings in the punt team.
Took him out of field goal range. When the ball's heavy like that, before the game, you know exactly the range that your kicker can hit balls from, and you go out there and measure it, and it's a science. And the ball, as it gets heavier, it's more difficult to make those kind of kicks. That 5 yards is critical.
Townsend becomes the third different punt returner for Bama today. Kenyon, no such luck near the goal line. That one flies into the end zone. That'll bring Alabama out to the 20, and we'll return to Neyland Stadium after this word from your local station.
CBS, welcome home.
Everyone wants a quiet place to get away. Here's one within driving distance. The new Camry. Thanks to a new level of sound-absorbing technology, including a special alloy in the steering wheel to reduce vibration, so the only thing you feel is good. The new Camry. Quieter, smoother, more affordable than ever.
Oh, Genie of the Lamp, grant me my wishes. I wish for a morning show that plays Chattanooga's hot country favorites, the latest news. I wish for accurate traffic reports. Genie, grant me my wishes. Bring me the morning show of my dreams. Come to Mama. Bearman and Ken, mornings on US 101. It's magical. Big dudes.
Sis, you need a bigger lamp. Yeah, it's kind of tight in there.
Don't push it, boys. Be sweet.
Dalton, Georgia, the carpet capital of the world, home of Ron Epps International Isuzu, where you'll find superior excellence in sales, leasing, parts, and service. The International name continues to hold the strongest resale value in the market, and Ron Epps International can accommodate any application, from the 20,000-pound GVW to the large 80,000-pound GVW. See the complete line of International and Isuzu trucks today at Ron Epps on South Hamilton for sales, lease, parts, and service. Ron Epps International Isuzu.
Trey Teague, number 70, the left tackle, barely flinches, but it's enough to take Tennessee out of scoring position. It's like a turnover. You have to then back up and punt the ball. It's a critical error in the kicking game.
Game scoreless, second quarter. Riddle buys time going east-west, and now still knocked out of bounds with a loss of about 2. Tyrone Hines bumped him out. Tomorrow night, Ken Olin heads an all-star cast in the new series that People magazine calls Grade A. It's a special 2-hour preview of Easy Streets tomorrow, right here on CBS, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Call it a loss of 1. 2nd and 11. Travis Smith into the backfield for Bama. Kitchens. Good protection. Man open. They'll have the first down. Out to the 40. It's Travis Smith. Smith just inserted to the game for Ed Sissom at fullback, and he gains 21 yards on the catch.
Every pass completion starts with pass protection. You've got to give your quarterback the time to get his feet set and to find the open receiver. That was a great example of Pete DeMario working against Leonard Little one-on-one. That battle goes to Pete DeMario.
Shamari Buchanan in as a receiver, but on the ground. The Tide out to the 45. Pickup of about 5. King and Noel together on the hit. It's raining pretty strong now.
And you have to feel like the tempo of the game is to Alabama's liking right now. They want a defensive struggle. They survive with defense and field position. They're not an explosive offensive team.
2nd down, 5. You wanted 200 yards rushing today out of Alabama. They were going to have a win, you said? 74 already. Looking for more with Riddle. Back up that total a little bit. Austin coming up to make the play. He's having a big first half for Tennessee.
Al Wilson, the outside linebacker for Tennessee, has had a big year thus far. Number 27, he's an excellent player. He's the 2nd leading tackler on the Tennessee team. That play for a loss goes for him. He made an outstanding play.
3rd down. Alabama has not converted on 3rd down. 3rd and 7. Oh, shovel pass. It almost went awry.
The more Alabama can stay out of those long yardage situations, the happier the offensive coordinator, Woody McCorvey, is going to be. That is not the Alabama strength. Alabama needs to be like in 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3, as opposed to 3rd and 7 and 8.
Hayden Stockton back in, the senior from Double Springs, Alabama. The punt to Terry Fair, the nation's leading punt returner. He averages 23 yards a return. The average helped by an 86-yard one-back for a score against UCLA. Fair catch at the 20. So 6:23 remaining first half and no score in Knoxville.
What's all this malarkey about how tough football players used to be? Used to be? Who's tougher than Reggie White? Bum hamstring, and he's still tossing linemen around like bocce balls. And if that locomotive can bring the heat with his leg on the fritz, imagine what it'll do to your healthy. Brother, they'll be taking team photos with an X-ray camera. Say cheese, wise guy.
In a Saab 9000 Aero with 225 turbocharged horses, you could have serious fun. You could feel the rush of torque. And when Automobile Magazine says you must drive this car, you could admire their keen grasp of the obvious. The Saab 9000 Aero. Find your own road. Saab.
Australia's Great Barrier Reef. You don't need fins to swim under it. You don't need wings to fly over it. You don't need 4 legs to run through it. But you just might need to bring this. Because Reef Watch Air Tours, Wild Track Jeep Safaris, and Pro Sail Schooners will take you on the ride of your life. But they won't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Pat O'Brien back in our New York studios. Coming up on the College Football Today halftime report, another miracle win by Northwestern, this one against Illinois. Steve Schnurr with a big day. Craig James had a big day as well, and he'll be here to break it down for you. That's at halftime. See you then.
All right, Patrick, looking forward to that. Meanwhile, it's scoreless here at Neyland Stadium. Gene Stallings in Alabama, ranked 7th in the country, taking on number 6 Tennessee. Volunteers begin the drive from their own 20. In on Manning, football free, Hood has it. Inside of the 5, Wheelam down to the 3. Ralph Staten hammered Manning as they continue to unload on the quarterback, and Bama is set up at the 3-yard line.
Peyton Manning never saw it coming. He had his back turned to the blitz. He never had an opportunity to protect himself. He came off a play-action fake. Ralph Staten, 41, comes, knocks the ball loose. And Chris Hood, 34, the great defensive end for Alabama, needed to pick it up and score with it right there. Now they've got to punch it in there. He needs to score. Look at him.
Slipped a little bit on the wet surface.
He did. I'm going to give you that. He did. That was a lineman's dream right there.
Oh, he had it, though, didn't he? He had it. Well, inside the 20. Bama, pretty successful, but a timeout called by the Crimson Tide. They'll have first and goal to go when we come back.
In a Saab 900 Turbo, you could feel an exhilaration polite society would frown on. You could act on impulses committees would vote down. And when they tell you to zig, you could zag. Turbo Rush. Only in the Saab 900 Turbo. Find your own road, Saab.
There's a medical emergency, but no hospital. What do you do? Build one. Leadership. Learn it now in the Army Reserve. Use it now in your career.
We've shown you Prego is better than Ragu Old World style. Now here's a thought on why. Prego adds diced tomatoes, Ragu only paste. So Prego's more like homemade. No wonder people prefer Prego almost 2 to 1. Prego homemade taste, it's in there.
Ralph Staten comes from the left side of the screen, and the center, Brent Gibson, needs to get out and protect Manning's backside. He can't get out quick enough. It's a great design blitz by Alabama against that particular kind of a play by Tennessee.
This is Riddle territory. First and goal. Here he is. Backed up by Brown. Jonathan Brown. Junior, Tulsa, Oklahoma. Really been coming on strong the last 4 games.
He's made his presence felt, particularly in pass rush situations. The call surprised me a little bit in the fact that Alabama came into the game feeling that they needed to pound the ball inside the tackles, not run wide with the ball. That was an attempt to run wide against Tennessee's speed. It's not a high percentage play.
Second and goal at the 5. Short side of the field. Riddle, no gain.
Tennessee's got 8 men up on the line of scrimmage and another player in a position to tackle. When you have this kind of a front, it's just heavy going for your offensive linemen and backs to make any yards. It's just a hard situation to be in.
Actually drove him back a yard. It's third and goal at the 6.
Will this be a goal line stand for Tennessee if they're able to hold them out?
Showing signs of it, that's for sure. Kitchens to the end zone and almost intercepted again by Austin. Oh, that could have been a race the other way, 100 yards.
Raymond Austin would have taken that ball 100 yards the other way if he hadn't dropped it. Marcel West pushes off. Austin has it. But the big problem is Freddie Kitchens just cannot let that ball go into that kind of a coverage. He's just not open enough to release the ball.
From the left hash mark, it'll be a field goal try from Brian Cunningham. They alternate kickers. 23-yard try, and it's blocked. Tennessee got a hand on it. That's been the trouble this year with Cunningham. Low trajectory. He's had a point after blocked. And this is the second field goal of the season blocked. Only a 23-yard try. Alabama had it first and goal with the 3 and comes away empty.
It was a high snap by 88 Chester Lewis, the long snapper. The ball was a little bit high. They had difficulty getting the ball down, and Leonard Little got his hand up and got the ball tipped. Watch the snap from Chester Lewis. It's a little high. Consequently, the ball's not put down, and Cunningham this year has had trouble kicking the ball too low.
Little got a hand on it.
Absolutely.
It's interesting, though, how Stalling has really wrestled with that decision. Who to use as the place kicker, John Brock or Brian Cunningham. We kind of sensed it would be Brock today. Cunningham with the low kicks.
Gene's been very unhappy with his place kicking. He just hasn't been able to get into a good rhythm.
Tennessee from the 20. And that's Graham for about 4.
You know, you give up the ball where Tennessee did. As a coach, you're sure that you're going to have some points put on that board. All of a sudden, your defense makes a stand like that. Philip Fulmer, he's got to be jumping for joy. Come out of there with no points. What a defensive effort by Tennessee.
What a defensive battle we have today. 4 minutes to go before halftime. No score. Look at that play right there. Alabama backing up. Graham maybe give him a yard. Buckner and Myers along with Jackson on the hit. This is a Alabama defense that allows only about 10 first downs a game and ranked nationally in 4 different categories in the top 10.
And you know you're really good when you rank in rush and pass in the top 10 nationally. Then you know you got a good defense.
Yeah, those stats so often skewed in one direction because they are porous at another spot. They give up a lot of yards rushing, but their passing stats might be low.
These guys are good everywhere.
Exactly. 3rd down, 3rd and 5. Manning throws, kick, batted down. Good defensive play by Fernando Bryant. 3 and out for Tennessee. Manning now 4 for 12 for 28 yards. 0 for 7 today on 3rd down. Chad Goss will return the punt of Binion.
This is another area where Alabama's having trouble in their kicking game in punt returning. You've got to be a good punt catcher before you become a good punt returner.
Goss got away with a fumble on the first return of the game. This time out to the 46. So good starting position. Nothing like the last time, though, where they failed to score from the 3, but near midfield, Alabama with 3:13 to go. 2nd quarter. Coming up at halftime, back to New York for our guys Pat O'Brien and Craig James. Scores and highlights today. Northwestern continues to amaze.
They're amazing. You know, a lot of people think it's luck with Northwestern. It's skill. It's outstanding coaching, excellent players. They have a football program. They built it. They deserve respect.
Play action. Kitchens, man open, makes the catch for about 9 yards.
You know, coaches love to talk about turnovers. Turnovers are going to kill us. We've got to make sure we don't turn it over. Alabama has thrown 2 interceptions in this half, but it hasn't hurt their football team. That's encouraging to the Alabama squad. They've turned the ball over, but they haven't been penalized because of it.
Michael Vaughn with that last catch. Less than a yard to go for a 1st down. First time they passed today on 1st down, that completion. There's an easy first. Riddle into the secondary. Riddle running inside the 20 and down at the 17. Terry Fair was the last man who could get him.
The Alabama offensive line is intact from a year ago. All 5 starters are back. They're a physical offensive line, and right there is an example of why you want to get the ball to Dennis Riddle. You just let him keep hammering you, and sooner or later the guy will break the line of scrimmage.
28 yards for Riddle. Montoya Madden has come in at running back. Number 21 getting the carry. And he's inside the 15, and we're inside 2 minutes. Montoya Madden, the sophomore from Town Creek, Alabama, had his first career touchdown in the game last year against the Volunteers, a game Tennessee won handily, 41-14. But he's been seeing more action by the week. Last week, 9 plays, and he carried it all 9 times.
And interesting enough, Gene Stallings likes to get him inside the 20-yard line because he's such a power runner. He's so short to the ground, he's hard to tackle.
2nd and 6.
He got tackled that time.
Boy, did he quickly. Good hit by Al Wilson. And a clock running with 1:15.
Don't you just know that Gene Stallings is loving this kind of a game? And this is what he talked to us about. He loves a defensive battle. He loves it when you're playing field position. This is how he grew up under Bear Bryant. This is how the Alabama philosophy is.
Alabama calls timeout with 61 seconds in the half. They have one timeout left.
I get here early to stock up on Texaco Haviland Formula 3 motor oil because it gives my engine complete protection.
Me too.
Michael Andretti.
Texaco Haviland Formula 3 is formulated to control volatility and fight vaporization. And it's the same oil used by championship racing teams.
Empty.
Tough track, huh?
Take it to the star. And to give your cooling system maximum protection, get Haviland Extended Life Antifreeze.
You will find her wherever there's a morning and a road. Distance champion Deanna Sodoma, training and competing all over the world. On the strength of her own determination. And on the wings of Northwest Airlines, who can take you from wherever you call home to wherever on earth you chase your dreams.
Northwest has a network that will take me any place I need to go.
Some people just know how to fly.
Gene Stallings hasn't really been happy with anything but their one-loss record. That is something to behold. 7-0. And their defense as well has been something special this year. But 3rd and 5, deep in Tennessee territory. Kitchens, no chance. Tyrone Hines sacks him at the 20.
Alabama came into the game feeling that Tyrone Hines, number 47, was the best defender that they had to play against. Tennessee comes with the blitz against Kitchen. He just didn't have time to unload the ball. Again, because of his inexperience, he will learn eventually to just get this ball and throw it away if at all possible.
Brian Cunningham will stay in as the field goal kicker. 36-yard try this time. Straight away, and good. First points of the game with 19 seconds to go, first half. Good for Brian Cunningham. Alabama 3, Tennessee nothing.
It was impossible to make Wendy's grilled chicken sandwich any more delicious. So we made it bigger. Now our marinated whole breast filet is bigger and juicier. And you can really feel good about eating it.
Boy, do I feel good. There's a medical emergency, but no hospital. What do you do? Build one. Leadership. Learn it now in the Army Reserve. Use it now in your career.
The Boys and Girls Club provides for the kids an opportunity to gain a lot of things that they might not be gaining at home.
We try to do more than just sports and recreation. Myron came to the club right after he graduated. He's showing these kids how important education is, and he's about to get his PhD.
I want to be like Myron when I grow up.
I know that I'm making a difference in these kids' lives.
I think it's real unique that somebody that was on the national championship football team was out here volunteering.
The SEC and United Way teaming up to make a difference.
When you play in rain, it's often hard for snappers, quarterbacks to handle the ball. The ball is low from Chester Lewis, but Lance Tucker does an excellent job of getting it down and turning the laces away from Cunningham, enabling the kick to be good.
And the kick down to Tennessee. Westmoreland to the 32. And 12 seconds on the clock before halftime. What will they do? Tennessee's offensive line has struggled this year. Lost 4 players to the NFL. And then Jarvis Rito, who had experience, broke a leg against Florida, out for the year. And then in this game, Dyron Robinson, a starter, hobbled off the field, sprained ankle, and has not returned. And Manning's not getting the time.
Well, and Phil Fulmer has said all along that the line is coming along, just not as quickly as they need to in order for them to make a national championship type run.
Graham. And Tennessee will go to the locker room. Shut out. Shut out in the first half. Tennessee had 75 total yards.
Wow. Never in my wildest dreams.
Let's go down to Michelle.
All right, guys, with Phil Fulmer, and it's been a defensive battle. What has Alabama's defense done so well, and how do you adjust?
Well, they're an exceptional defensive football team, and obviously we need to adjust. They're giving us a lot of looks. We've got to get it figured out, give Peyton time, keep our running game going a little bit, and there's a chance for a big play somewhere out there with that much man coverage.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
There has not been a big play offensively so far for the Volunteers. Alabama leads 3-0 at halftime. Pat O'Brien and Craig James coming along next with college football today after this word from your local station.
CBS, welcome home.
As a mother and homemaker, I know how important it is to have plenty of hot water. All those baths, showers, clothes to be washed, and dishes. That's why you should have a natural gas water heater. All the hot water you need for your family. And you can save over $200 per year on operating costs. Call Chattanooga Gas Company for the names of energy-wise contractors who can install a natural gas water heater in your home. Call 1-800-GAS-LINE.
Folks, let's meet Cindy Lou, one of our finalists.
That's my girl. Cindy Lou, honey, what would you do to make the world a better place?
I'd buy Ma and Pa a new 4x4.
Nelson Powers Ford, your truck authority, offers you a new 96 Ranger XLT for $139.55 a month.
Could you tell us the difference between a 4x4 and a 2x4?
Well, 4x4 is a truck, and a 2x4 is what I'd use upside your head if you don't get your hands off me.
Nelson Powers Ford, Southleigh Highway across from Bradley High.
When you're shopping for a water heater, remember this. The annual operating cost shown in bold on the little yellow sticker is a national average, and the electric rates here are about the lowest in the country. An electric water heater is going to cost over 30% less to operate than what's shown here, and it's cheaper to install. Remember, this is just a guide. To find out how inexpensive a water heater can be, call the Electric Power Board.
When pro football player Reggie White comes home to Chattanooga, he's constantly on the go catching up with family and friends. And when you have a family as big and as many friends as Reggie does, it can get quite expensive. That's why Reggie carries the Edge Card. Reggie knows his Edge Card is good for discounts at great restaurants, concerts, and sporting events, even on flowers. Learn how to get your Edge Card by calling 757-6500.
Get the savings, get the edge.
People you can count on.
The College Football Today Ford Division Halftime Report is sponsored by Ford Division.
Welcome to College Football Today Ford Halftime Report. Pat O'Brien along with Craig James. The score is Alabama 3, Tennessee nothing. And welcome to our College Football Saturday. Glad you're with us on this beautiful Saturday afternoon. I don't want to bust you, but you said Alabama might win this game.
Well, if they got into this type ball game, this is what they needed here. The Alabama defense going against Tennessee's defense. A defensive, slow-paced football game, just and Alabama's running the football. And that's exactly what the Tide needed.
Let me see you go into your coaching mode. I want to see this.
No, you want to coach a little bit here. Now, if I'm in a ball game, I always told somebody to watch the backside. Watch the backside of this play. They got to get creative now at Alabama with their offense so they can give their defense a chance. Look at the motion here. Everybody is moving over. Go ahead and roll out. Have your tight end get to the end zone, and then throw the pass to him. That's what Alabama needs to do. They need to take advantage of some opportunities and create some plays in the end zone for touchdowns.
Crimson Tide has won 5 in a row at Neyland Stadium. Not really exactly rolling this afternoon. They're sort of walking, but they are up 3-0 at the half. Should be a good game. All right, the Big Ten, Ohio State and Iowa. Let's begin with that score. Last year, Ohio State led Iowa 56-7 at the half. The second quarter is 31-6. Iowa didn't show up today.
Yeah, you know, Iowa didn't show up. They did a little bit for the first part of the ball game, but now Ohio State's offensive line and pace, they're starting to set the pace.
Buckeyes have 10 points off Iowa turnovers. 31-6 the score there. In the ACC, Virginia and Florida State. Hey, we talked about this game last week. We said it's a scary game for them. Not too scary. They're hanging in there.
They looked horrible. Virginia did against Georgia Tech. They lose. They come back. NC State wipe them out. Tiki Barber, 7th straight 100-yard rushing day.
Not at 14 in the second quarter. Arizona State and Stanford. How good is Arizona State? 21-9 at the half.
Yeah, Plummer looks excellent. I'm telling you, he's got a lot of West Coast votes for the Heisman, 2 touchdown passes.
21-9 at the half there. In the Big 12, Texas and Colorado. Colorado trails in this game now by 3, 17-14.
What's going on? I mean, Texas, they lose to Oklahoma. I mean, this is a crazy bunch of guys. And Colorado at home, very tough to beat them there.
Texas is 0-6-1 versus top 10 teams under John Makovich. Colorado's a top 10 team, 17-14 at the half. All right, let's talk about Northwestern again. Well, they're going to wear, for Halloween, they're going to wear magician's outfits, and this game was no sleeper, believe me. Illinois takes the lead 24-20 midway through the fourth quarter as Robert Holcomb dives in from 1 yard out. Now the Wildcats come back. Steve Schnur connects with Brian Musso for the first on 4th and 5. Northwestern trails 24-20 at that point. That sets up our guy Adrian Autry.
It wasn't Darnell today, but Adrian Autry had over 100 yards rushing, goes in behind the offensive line, the all-senior line, which gave them a chance to win the ball game. An excellent come from behind. Now your Big Ten standings, I mean, the conference is really crazy once again. Northwestern, Ohio State, put it down on the calendar. Michigan at Ohio State, Northwestern at Penn State. Those are your 2 key ball games that happen in November.
Kind of a non-football theory here. I have the feeling that when you win games like that, your adrenaline just carries you into the next week almost automatically.
You know, I never understand about all these highs and lows in college football. People talk about, you know, coach can't get them up the next week. Hey, you only got 10, 11 ball games. You can go out and play. You're a young guy. You get that going in your body and go out and keep playing.
We got a nice picture of you from last year coming up here, but let's put up Mississippi State at LSU. Horrible weather. 28-20 was the final here, and you got a candid shot of Craig walking down the street in New York saying, I'm number 1, and Kevin Falk had a monster of a game today, didn't he?
They told me to look a lot like you in this show, so I think they need to run more halfback passes like this to Larry Forster because it gives the defense a chance to really sit back on their heels.
Mississippi State and LSU. It's horrible weather. It doesn't look like it there, but they had terrible weather today. The Tigers prevailed 28-20 in that football game. Over in the WAC, BYU and TCU, 38-7 in the third quarter. And Mom, send money, send paint, send a shirt. Steve Sarkisian on a play fake does some scrambling and finds Ben Cahoon.
Steve Sarkisian, his pass efficiency rating is spectacular. Another great WAC performance by him. And TCU, who was supposed to be a contender this year, really looking bad.
Sarkisian has 3 touchdown passes on the day. Now Oklahoma and Kansas State 42-21 in the fourth quarter. K-State quarterback Brian Cavanaugh 3 touchdown passes today, and Mike Lawrence has 2 touchdown runs for the Wildcats. 42-21 that score. Penn State and Indiana, a lot of offense here. 48-26 the final. Penn State was down 20-10, and Hoosier fan looking on there. Mike McQuarrie coming right at you here. For the ineffective Wally Richardson, finds Chris Everly for the touchdown to tie the game up for the Hoosiers. Then Chafee Fields.
Yeah, he gives them the lead as he runs up the middle for 6-yard touchdown. Wally Richardson just really hampered and hamstrung the Penn State offense. They got rid of him. McCreary comes in, gives them the life.
Indiana, 13 straight Big Ten losses. 48-26, the final there. Tulsa and Utah, 45-19. That's the final out in the Pac-10. Washington and Oregon, they are at the half, and the Huskies lead 21-7. Games later today include Kansas at Nebraska, North Carolina at Houston, Michigan at Minnesota, Miami, West Virginia, Southern Mississippi at Tulane. What do you like there?
Yeah, right down here. Miami and West Virginia. You talk about 2 ball clubs that are really trying to stay in there. West Virginia trying to prove that they're a quality team. Miami, they're going to have to play with a Ryan Clement who's really banged up, beat up. Scott Covington, the backup quarterback, won't even make the trip. It's a very difficult position for Miami to play in a hostile environment.
Right. And idle today, and for the first time in a long time, we don't say Tennessee because they're playing here on CBS, but Florida, Wyoming, Notre Dame, and Auburn. Pick one there.
You know, for Auburn, they're getting ready for their showdown down the road with Auburn, and Florida, they're just trying to get ready for that SEC championship ball game. Of course, they got to go through Florida State first.
All right, we'll be back with more college football scores and highlights after this. Stay with us.
Bullwinkle, we passed by here an hour ago.
Where's here? I thought we were there.
Bullwinkle.
Oh, don't
okay,
worry, Rob.
that's enough TV for today.
Dad!
Let's go for a ride.
Yes, no, we're out of here.
Dad, where are we going?
This better be good.
I gotta go to the bathroom.
Oh, honey, see that? See?
That's cool.
When are we gonna be there?
Stop, wait!
Dad, can we take him home?
Ford Explorer, because the world's too big to be left unexplored.
We're there.
Trust. We are not born with an instinct to trust. Trust must be earned. Trust must be proven. We earn it with integrity. We prove it with sound advice. Trust is the ultimate measure of our success. And at Dean Witter, we measure success one investor at a time.
I have now been off the Nicotrol patch for exactly 1 month. Using the Nicotrol patch, there was only the one dosage, and that made it very simple to use. You didn't have to worry about different phases and different steps that you had to go through.
New Nicotrol, a whole new and simple way to help you quit. Only Nicotrol has a 6-week program, not 10 weeks like the other patch or 12 weeks like the gum.
I didn't stop, I quit. And to stop is momentarily. To quit is for good, and that's what I've done.
6 weeks, 1 step. Take control with Nicotrol.
At Michelin, we believe a tire that's just good in the rain isn't good enough. The Michelin X1, with a 6-year, unlimited mileage tread life warranty, is the one tire that gives you better wet traction than any rain tire, plus Michelin control in most driving conditions. After all, it hasn't rained that much in years. The Michelin X1.
I'm Andrew Sorensen, and I'm excited to be a part of the University of Alabama, an institution with a long history of quality and excellence. I believe in ambitious goals, teamwork, and straight talk. I'm committed to building on our strengths, tapping potential, and helping to take us to the next level. I believe we can, and I know we will.
There'll be no debate. NASCAR's Grand Nationals and Truck Series winners will settle it on the Speedway. A fast and furious fight to the finish at the season finales on CBS.
The Alabama band brings tears to Danny Sheridan's eyes every time he hears it. The $1 Million Band of Alabama in the rain and still sounded awfully strong as the Crimson Tide 3-0 at the halftime. What do you make of this game?
Yeah, it's a great defensive ball game, but I think the coaching staff that goes in, along with the players in the locker room at halftime and makes an adjustment offensively, showed you an example earlier. Whoever makes that adjustment comes out and has the edge in the second.
All right, let's update Virginia, Florida State, because now Virginia has taken the lead 17-14. Rafael Garcia is a good kicker. 38-yard field goal for Virginia, 17-14 at the half.
And it's all because of Tiki Barber. He's running the ball. Very few people have been able to run the ball against Florida State. Tiki Barber's given him a chance.
All right, in the SEC, South Carolina and Vanderbilt, 27-0 was the final there. South Carolina star back Deuce Staley left the game with a sprained ankle, but Scott Moritz had 2 touchdown runs in his absence. Did a nice job today, 27-zip there. In the Big East, Syracuse and Boston College here on CBS, 45-17 was the final there, and Syracuse fans of all ages enjoying a beautiful day. Donovan McNabb had a pretty good day.
Yeah, 11 yards on the quarterback draw and the touchdown. The Orangemen went on a big-time late first-half scoring spree. I mean, this was one of those where they were really close in the ball game. Then McNabb to Quentin Spotwood made the juggling catch. After the game, McNabb.
We're a team that started all over against Virginia Tech and just came out and got everything on a positive note. We're a team also with a new face, a new idea, and a new goal, and that is to play every team, treat every team the same, and just go out and play well.
And a new ceiling. That was the sky they were looking at for the first time today. 45-17 was the final there. Also in the Big East, Virginia Tech and Pittsburgh. Hey, Virginia Tech struggled a little bit in this game early on, but they went on to win. And Johnny Majors had a nice conversation there. Jim Druckenmiller and Sean Scales had it going today.
Yeah, but Johnny Majors, his team did play pretty hard. They played tough football early on. This one here, the Scales, the touchdown pass reception there. Druckenmiller was the kingpin once again for his offense. Hitting Scales, finds him on the long bomb. The touchdown, the Hokies finally pull away for the victory. But once again, Johnny Majors' team did play hard. They just didn't have enough depth or quality overall to stay with them.
Hokies have a tough schedule ahead of them. They won today 34-17. Also in the Big East, was a couple of 1-6 teams. Now it's a 1-7, 2-6 team. Rutgers 2-6, 28-17 over the Owls of Temple this afternoon. Texas Tech and Texas A&M, 13-10 was the final here, and all the Aggies faithful on hand in College Station. You're familiar with that area down there. Dante Hall breaks outside, goes 25 yards down the sideline. The Aggies touchdown.
They got so many good young running backs. Dante Hall, hard to get up with that guy. And at fourth quarter, though, it was the Red Raiders. Coming back, Zebby Lethridge, their quarterback, to Sammy Morris. Morris going all the way on an 81 yards. Texas Tech's a very difficult place to play and to win. And Pat, man, we had him on earlier. Byron Hanspard with a Heisman-type day for him. 198 rushing yards.
Texas Tech's first win at Kyle Field in a dozen years. 13-10 the final there. In the Big 12, Iowa State and Baylor, 42-21 in the fourth quarter. And also in the Big 12, Oklahoma State and the Tigers of Missouri, 28-21 there in the fourth quarter. Michigan State beat Wisconsin today, 30-13. They have a letdown, you think, Wisconsin?
Hey, Barry Alvarez, he could not get his guys off the bus emotionally. Wisconsin quarterback Mike Samuel up the middle on the sneak, scored tied the score at 10, but they really never had it. Emotionally, they were just down and out in the ball game. Michigan State quarterback Todd Schultz to Cedric Irvin. The end zone, 25-yard touchdown, put the Spartans up by 10, and Wisconsin never showed up to play.
Cedric is Michael Irvin's cousin. 30-13 was the final there. Army and Miami of Ohio. Army rolls on, 27-7 the final there, and Navy and Wake Forest. Navy goes to 5-1, 47-18 was the score there. And I'll tell you, the midshipmen are full reel.
Best start since 1979. Chris McCoy, their quarterback, to Omar Nelson on the screen. Senior fullback all the way on an 81-yard touchdown. He had 3 touchdowns on the day, and McCoy is the leader of their team, hands down. Looks a little bit like Roger Staubach. There you are, Pat. Some of your kids out there doing push-ups. McCoy, though, this one up the gut for the 4-yard score. Navy too much today.
At least I can do push-ups. 47-18 was the final there. And they play Notre Dame next weekend here on CBS. And Central Florida and Georgia Tech, 27-20 was the final there. Charlie Rogers had 3 touchdowns for Georgia Tech. Maryland and Duke, 22-19 was the final in that one. Fresno State and UNLV out on the wax, scoreless, just underway in the first quarter. Columbia prevails. They beat Yale 13-10.
What's that, the best start in over 51 years?
Best start in 51 years. You got that right. Dartmouth and Cornell, 38-21 was the final there. Dartmouth's off to its best start in 25 years at 6-0. Harvard and Princeton, 24-zip the final there. Princeton is now 0-3 in the Ivy League. Its worst start since 1973. And Penn and Brown, 27-21 was the final there. And we go back to Alabama, Tennessee. And what does Tennessee have to do in this ballgame?
They got to get Jay Graham in the game. On the ground, Graham has to run the football. And then Peyton Manning, early in the game, he tried to open it up. But I tell you what, all that water and all the rain and things taking place may slow down the passing game.
It's raining in Knoxville. We're going to go do some push-ups, and we'll see a little later on. Rejoin Nance and company after this. Enjoy the second half here on CBS.
I'll spot you 5.
College Football Today Ford Division Halftime Report has been sponsored by Ford Division.
This is Ford Escort. It's new and it's nifty. It's made for the smart, the intelligent thrifty. It's new out and in. It has airbags for 2. Even anti-lock brakes are available. Ooh, the trunk, it is huge to hold tremendous treasure. And if your treasure is of stupendous measure, the rear seat folds down to let bigger things in, still leaving room for your next of kin's kin. It has all the whatsits and gidgets, to put it concisely, and Escort's right price should suit you quite nicely.
Face it, no other razor shaves closer or with more comfort than Gillette Sensor XL. Soft microfins that protect your skin and individually spring-mounted twin blades that adjust to your face. No razor feels more comfortable during your shave or leaves your face smoother after. Gillette Sensor XL. And try new Gillette Aftershave, a splash that moisturizes as it refreshes.
The legendary chalice of Malta has never come cheap. In 1238, it was captured by 10,000 Celts. In 1512, it took an entire armada. And in 1703, it took an arranged marriage to the daughter of Charles V, the older one. But luckily, if you want the golden chalice of Malta, all you need is the golden card of Visa, with extraordinary purchase power for extraordinary things. It's even mightier than the sword. Visa Gold fits everywhere you want to be.
The forecast called for a calm, quiet meeting, but a tempest rages instead. It's often the case in today's international business climate, which is why the employee owners of United have prepared a place high above it all, with worldly comforts that refresh, restore, and renew. United Airlines, the calm before and after the storm. We don't just work here. Come fly our friendly skies.
Juvenile violence touches everyone in our community. As a student at the University of Tennessee,
I'm learning new ways to help young people handle conflict. I take these lessons to our city's schools. The students I work with are making a difference in their own classrooms, playgrounds, and neighborhoods. I'm proud of UT's partnership with our school system and the many ways the University of Tennessee bridges the gap between the classroom and the community.
Well, Peyton Manning was mauled in the first half by this Alabama defense, sacked him twice. Manning was only 4 out of 12 in the first half for 28 yards. Alabama with the game's only points, a field goal with 19 seconds to go, second quarter. We're getting ready for the second half. Just a moment.
FedEx uses over 500 airplanes to handle your 2-day package. Cost? About $12.
UPS uses over 500 airplanes to handle your 2-day package. Cost? About $6.
The U.S. Postal Service uses over 15,000 airplanes to handle your priority mail 2- to 3-day package. Cost? $3.
So, 12, 6, 3, what's your priority? Priority mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
It's the first thing we all reach out for, and we never really stop. When we marry, buy a home, build a career, raise a family. Even when we retire, we still reach out for something only a company like Travelers Insurance can promise. Whether it's life insurance to protect you today or annuities to enrich your tomorrows. What we all want is what Travelers Insurance provides. Something to hold on to.
4 friends.
That's what we need to do. Rob a bank.
Who are about to make some easy money.
Y'all can roll with that right there. We ain't robbing stagecoaches. I need something I can set it off with. Let's do it.
The most dangerous way of all.
Go, 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 go! Come on, Yankees! Are we gonna get away with this? Yes!
Set It Off. Rated R. Starts Wednesday, November 6th.
You're ready to quit. Great. Now, which patch?
With Nicoderm CQ, you cut back your nicotine dose gradually, and gradual is the method doctors prefer. But you can't do that with Nicotrol. You can wear Nicoderm CQ 24 hours, so it's still with you when you wake up. You can't do that with Nicotrol. Highest level of medicine? CQ. And CQ was the patch most prescribed by doctors. Nicoderm CQ. The power to calm, the power to comfort, the power to quit successfully.
Alabama will have the football to start the third quarter. Jim Nance, Terry Donahue, Michelle Tafoya from Neyland Stadium. Rain continues to fall here. Hold's kick. Bounces out of bounds. Alabama will bring the football out to the 35-yard line. And Terry, how about that first half? We had 3 turnovers, 3 points total. What do you expect in the second half?
Well, you know, the turnovers didn't hurt either team. No one took points off the turnovers. It's a defensive battle. I think that Gene Stallings is loving it right now. It's more his game. This half, as Phil Fulmer said, there are some big plays out there. Tennessee has to go out and get those big plays.
So with the ball being kicked out of bounds, Alabama will start from the 35. Riddle right up the middle for 5. He had 88 yards rushing in the first half, now up to 93, on his way to his 3rd straight 100-yard game. You know, in that first half, 3rd down conversions a little telling also.
Neither team could generate much offense because of the 3rd down inefficiency of the throwing game. Alabama is on their way to 200 yards rushing as they wanted to.
Alvin Hall in his receiver, 2nd and 5. Riddle decides to go to the left. Picks up the first down. Looks like an old Saran-Stacy move for Alabama. To gain 9, he's over 100 with that carry.
A lot of people think that Dennis Riddle's greatest asset is his vision. This is just like playing out in the sandlot. He sees the defense over pursued. He just changes his direction and takes it back by himself. That's an athlete making a play, helping his team get off the hook. This is the way I expected Alabama to come out in the first half of the game, running the ball with Riddle off tackle, trying to pound Tennessee. They came out with Kitchens throwing.
154 he had against North Carolina State, 140 against Ole Miss, now 102 and looking for more against Tennessee. He's going to find more. Riddle, he started to see him now finding that groove in the second quarter. He's all the way down to the 39 of the Volunteers. Noel and Parker, the safeties, made the hit.
Patrick Hape, the big tight end who's playing wingback, is making the offensive game plan work. You can watch him at the top of the screen. He is the guy who can double down from that position. It creates a soft spot in the Tennessee defense and allows Dennis Riddle to attack that soft spot.
Dennis Riddle, who grew up in Tuscaloosa, played at Central High School in the shadows of Bryant-Denny Stadium, starring today for the Tide. Here he is again, driving the pile for about 3 when there was very little room to operate.
When you go in at halftime and you're Alabama and you look at that first half, you sit down as a coaching staff and you say, hey, we love our quarterback, Freddie Kitchens. He can win at Alabama. He can help us, but don't put him in a position to hurt our team. In the first half, when you're throwing the ball all over the lot with a guy like Freddie Kitchens, he can hurt you. He threw 2 interceptions. Sooner or later, you have to throw with your quarterback, but if you don't have an experienced guy, your team should carry your quarterback if your quarterback cannot carry the team.
Sean Alexander in the backfield now. Riddle out on this play. 2nd and 8. Little giving chase. And he catches up with Kitchens, who gained about 2 yards. Saw the speed there of the defensive end from Asheville, North Carolina.
Leonard Little is one of the fastest defensive linemen in the history of Tennessee. He can run like the wind, and this is what makes big plays on defense, that team speed. Everybody in the country that's in the top 5 or 10 teams, they have team speed. That guy personifies what it's all about.
Having a nice game today. Blocked the field goal. We were told he's very motivated after last week's play against Georgia was below his high standard. 3rd down and 6. Riddle returns. Now they run the option. Kitchen keeps. Flag thrown. I'll tell you, his second effort got him close to the chain, but maybe a half yard shy.
He's a big physical quarterback. When he turns up the line of scrimmage, you're talking about 235 pounds.
Big penalty here against Bama. Take him out of field goal range.
Huge.
Alabama in the SEC Western Division, the only unbeaten team, trying to make it into that SEC championship game. In all likelihood, Florida will be waiting for that SEC title contest. LSU beat Mississippi State today in a driving rain at Baton Rouge. Gene Stallings' team won the national championship back in 1992. In fact, the only SEC title in SEC team to win the national championship in the last 16 years was Alabama 92.
Also had a 28-game winning streak during Gene's early years at Alabama. People forget that.
3rd and 11. Kitchens, man open, West at the 10. Touchdown, Alabama!
Kitchens has not hit a lot of receivers today, but he's never thrown a bigger pass in his life than that one to Marcel West. Marcel West just gets behind the Tennessee defense.
He got lost back there, a 40-yard strike, and the extra point makes it 10-0. Cunningham converts. 40-yard connection, Kitchens to Marcel West. In the rain, well, the ball wobbled a bit, but West was there. He took the last 10 yards in for the score.
The Michelin X1 with a 6-year unlimited mileage tread life warranty gives you better wet traction than any rain tire, plus Michelin confidence in most driving conditions. Because you don't just cover a lot of miles, you cover a lot of weather.
How do you get this equipment to these troops when there's a river between them? Build a bridge. Problem solving. You need it now in college. Learn it now in the Army Reserve.
All that you can be.
It began just 4 years ago. Today, the GM MasterCard proudly announces that GM card earnings have helped to buy or lease 1 million new GM cars and trucks. The GM card is also proud to be ranked highest in customer satisfaction among rewards credit cards by J.D. Power and Associates. Your key is waiting for you.
CBS Sports coverage of college football is sponsored by the GM Card, today's financial vehicle. Burger King, where you can get your burger's worth. And by Prime Star, mini-dish satellite television.
A 65-yard drive on the first possession of the second half. 7 plays, Kitchens pass for the West to West for the score, 10-0, Bama. That's William Watts kicking. And a good one that cannot be returned. What happened on that play, Terry?
Somebody in the Tennessee secondary, either Jason Parker, the safety, or Terry Fair, the corner, somebody breaks the coverage. It's either man-to-man or too deep. I can't really tell to be sure, but you can see right there West wide open, and that is what allows, along with the scrambling ability of Freddie Kitchens, allows the touchdown to occur.
Three-receiver formation for the Volunteers. First snap for them in the second half. Manning to Nash. And he is hammered after a 3-yard completion. Let's check in with Michelle Tafoya.
Well, Jim, coming out of the Alabama locker room, 2 defensive linemen from the Crimson Tide line that's been controlling this game spoke up. Right end Kelvin Moore said, 2 more 15s and we go home. And defensive tackle Michael Myers added, this is our hometown and we're playing for the national championship. Guys?
They've been the forgotten team, Michelle, really, for the national championship race. 7-0 on the year. Again, they did not play a team that was ranked coming into the game until Tennessee today. 2nd and 7. Ball in the air, looked out and picked off. Deshae Townsend. Out of bounds at the 15. Manning had not thrown an interception in his last 116 attempts until that one.
Alabama came with the blitz. It's uncharacteristic of Mike DeBose to blitz a lot, the defensive coordinator. He brought the blitz here. Manning is trying to get the ball to Joey Kent. It hits him in the face mask off his helmet, goes up in the air, and Deshae Townsend comes down with the key interception, gives Alabama great field position.
Let's call it 13-yard line. Inside give to Haight, and he's lucky to have it back. Hand off to the tight end, Patrick Haight, who was lined up on a wing in Alabama.
You don't expect a lot of razzle-dazzle out of Alabama. This is an inside handoff to the tight end, Haight, who comes inside to get the ball. It's an unexpected counter-type play, but the ball isn't exchanged smoothly between Kitchens and Haight. They're lucky to get away without a turnover.
2nd and 12. Riddle's turn to lose a yard. Terry Fair came up. It's the 2nd turnover for Tennessee. You know, in the first half, the 3 turnovers in all. Didn't even add up to any points.
No harm whatsoever. The field position off of this turnover is critical, but in the first half there was some key field positions on turnover. Neither team could capitalize.
Well, especially the 3-yard line starting position after Hood recovered but slipped on his way into the end zone.
Tremendous series by Tennessee defense on that particular play that you're referring to.
And Alabama came up empty that time, but now on 3rd and 13, leading 10-0. Kitchens, here comes the blitz to Tennessee. He'll tuck it under. And Kitchens short of the first at about the 8-yard line.
Boy, that was a big play right there by Freddie Kitchens. The blitz came. The quarterback did not sight adjust to the blitz. He didn't see it, but what he did do, he used his athleticism to go ahead and get away from the blitzer who's coming at the top of the screen. He avoids the sack there. He's a big, strong, powerful quarterback at 240 pounds. You know, you kind of don't want to tackle that guy. It's like hitting a fullback.
Cunningham back out, his 3rd attempt of the day. 25-yard try. Lance Tucker to hold. Cunningham drills it. 13-0 Alabama. 9:16 to go, 3rd quarter. Tied on a roll.
In some places, this isn't a big family. It's a small town. And it's not too easy to please everyone. It's a good thing we got Prime Star. With up to 95 channels in digital picture and sound, it is a cornucopia of viewing possibilities. And the big guy? I haven't seen him this happy in years. He didn't have to buy the dish. Prime Star is a service, so there's no equipment to buy. And it all starts at about $1 a day. Enjoy.
For the best value in satellite TV, call 1-800-PRIME-STAR or visit your local Radio Shack. MFS invented the mutual fund in 1924. By the time the Allies declared victory, we'd been helping investors march toward financial independence for 21 years. No wonder millions of investors make us an ally today. For more information, ask your financial advisor or call us. MFS. We invented the mutual fund.
When it's time for routine service, the name you know best is all you need to know. It's the name that stands for GM trained technicians, the right tools and equipment, and genuine GM parts. It's the name for people who know your GM vehicle better than the rest. GM Good Wrench Service, the best name in the business.
Meet the detectives of public morals.
Everyone's staring at me like my fly's open.
Oh, I'm sorry. Public Morals premieres CBS Wednesday.
Alabama with 10 points in a 2-minute stretch. Now lead 13-0, 3rd quarter. Once again angling the boot. Levine will not even think about it. So, Tennessee to start from the 20. Tennessee has played only 2 games in the last 5 weeks since the loss to Florida. Opening up with home games, UNLV, UCLA, the loss to Florida, then a bye week, Thursday night game against Mississippi, Georgia, and another bye week leading into Alabama.
I think you have to ask yourself, is the Tennessee timing off? When you have 2 weeks to prepare for a team, it's generally an advantage. However, historically, Tennessee is 0-9 when coming off a bye against Alabama. And you wonder if Alabama's got the game tempo and Tennessee is just a little off of that rhythm.
Manning with 4 on the play clock, takes the snap, looks left side, one-on-one coverage. Catch is made, they give it to him. They say he got the foot in at the 47-yard line of Alabama. That's a 33-yard pass play.
Joey Kent, who's a great receiver for Tennessee, runs a fade route, and the beautiful thing about this play is he leaves himself enough room for Peyton Manning to lead him to the outside. It's a terrific throw by Peyton Manning. It's an absolutely perfect ball, and what concentration by Joey Kent.
Now look at the fingertip grab for the young man who was recruited by Alabama in his home state. He's from Huntsville as a defensive back. He wanted to play wide receiver, so he ventured north to Volunteer country. Levine down to the 38. That's Graham. Beg your pardon. Graham with a good burst. Buckner on the hit.
Funny about how offenses go. All of a sudden, Tennessee couldn't get anything going. They turned the ball over. Alabama scores. Now Tennessee explodes. The thing about Tennessee that you have to be concerned about if you're Alabama is the explosiveness of the offense. It can lie dormant, and then all of a sudden, boom, and it's gone on you.
2nd and 1.
Manning's checking off.
Here comes Myers, and Manning falls at the 50. Oh, is he quick?
Well, Michael Myers said coming out, as Michelle told us, out of the half, that he wanted to dominate the game, and certainly he's a major factor. He is so quick coming off the ball. Manning checked this play off. He saw something in the secondary. He was trying to go deep for a touchdown pass. The Tennessee line just couldn't block Michael Myers.
3rd sack for the Bama defense today. Copeland in as a receiver, as is McCullough.
Alabama is doing a great job disguising their defenses.
So after 2nd and short, it's now 3rd and 10. Manning lobs it, and McCullough can't make the catch. They wanted interference here, no flag. Ralph Staten may have bumped him a little bit, but no call.
Ralph Staten is a converted defensive back who can play man-to-man coverage against fast wide receivers. He got there a little early right there. Looked to me like it should have been a pass interference call.
So the drive fizzles out thanks to the sack of Myers. Townsend awaits the kick of Binion. And into the end zone. Halfway through the 3rd quarter. 13-0 Bama.
With its 2nd sliding door, easy outroller seats, plus air conditioning and 7 passenger seating, all for a great price. The Plymouth Voyager is pretty attractive.
Shoppers have one. Travelers have one. PC buyers have one. Now investors have one too. Mutual Fund OneSource from Charles Schwab. OneSource can't promise investment success, but it does guarantee you'll never pay a load or commission on mutual funds. If your fund isn't part of OneSource, maybe you should look for one that is. OneSource, the second Schwab revolution.
The Heisman Watch, sponsored by Charles Schwab, investing the way it should be.
Can you believe that Texas Tech wins in Kyle Field for the first time since 1984 because of this young man?
And the first running back since '84 to go over 100 yards from Tech against Texas A&M. He did it on the ground. He did it a hard way, 198 yards. Normally a guy will grind it out like he did today. And if it's a good runner, he comes up with 100 and perhaps 20 yards. I'm telling you, he had over 50-yard one called back. This guy did a great job today against the Wrecking Crew defense.
13-10 was the final score, but Byron was the star and man in our Heisman Watch today. Back to the game.
One more time, Craig.
Well, Manning's candidacy here been set back so far, but we still have a quarter and a half to play. 13-0. Alabama over Tennessee. Bama football at its own 20. Riddle for 3. It was a huge defensive play. A gem turned in by Michael Myers on 2nd and 1, Terry, just when Tennessee was gaining confidence.
Well, and Peyton Manning wanted to go to the touchdown pass. He sees the blitz coming. He's trying to get a big play, which you encourage your quarterback to do, but he just never had a chance to get the ball off.
Myers, who has feasted on Manning today.
Boy, is he something special, that guy.
2nd and 8. And it looks like a delay of game call against Alabama. Send them back to the 17. 6:41 remaining third quarter. This is an Alabama team, by the way, coming in off of a shutout victory over Ole Miss, 37-0. Not allowed a point now in over 6 quarters.
And you got the feeling from the very beginning of the ball game that the game was being played Gene Stallings style. He liked the tempo of the game. He liked the defensive war. That's what these guys thrive on from Alabama.
2nd and 13. Kitchens dumps it short. And Riddle stays inbounds to 21. There is a volunteer down.
Kitchens really got decked on the play. He's a banged-up athlete right now.
Al Wilson shaken up for Tennessee. Buxton was the one who delivered that hit on the quarterback. And with Wilson down on the field, timeout. We'll be right back.
Let's go, guys.
Now that Sprint is the official telecommunications provider to the NFL, the teams can do business in a whole new way.
Now here's the play. Toss 38 on 2.
Right, Coach. They can use Sprint broadcast facts.
Hey, guys.
Data networking.
I just cracked their defense. Get out of the way. Can't see.
And video conferencing.
Go, go, go.
Sprint helps the whole NFL win. Let us help your business do more business. Call Sprint Business.
Trade after trade, active investors rely on our brokerage experience. Isn't it time you had Fidelity Investments working for you?
Al Wilson shaken up, but able to jog off the field. 3rd and 9 for Alabama. Kitchens trying to improvise, and he is sacked by Noel, Torrey Noel. Back at the 15.
John Chavis, the defensive coordinator at Tennessee, is bringing some heat of his own. Torrey Noel in their nickel package. He's hugged up. All of a sudden, he's a late blitzer, and because the quarterback could not get rid of the ball, he's unable to make the play. It's a coverage sack.
There's a return man for Tennessee who can turn the game around quickly. Terry Fair, you see him back there near midfield. Stockton got settled, and then the rush came. But boy, did he let one fly all the way back to the 36. And Fair showed signs of breaking free before going down at the 39. Chris Edwards finally finished him off. Next week, a doubleheader day on CBS over in Ireland. The Fighting Irish are traveling to Dublin. It'll be Notre Dame and Navy. This should be some game. Notre Dame against a team that has really shocked some people this year with only one loss all season long for the Middies. Then later on, many will see Georgia, Florida, or Syracuse, West Virginia. That's next weekend. Manning across the middle. Kent at the 47, a game of 8. So again, Notre Dame Navy, the Shamrock Classic at noon Eastern time next Saturday, followed by regional action. Many of you will see Georgia and Florida, their annual duel from Jacksonville and Syracuse, West Virginia, to other parts of the country.
Boy, you've got to be impressed with the way all 3 of the academies are playing. They're having a fabulous college football year.
And Army is unbeaten, one of 8 unbeaten teams in the country. That includes Alabama on that list.
And Air Force just beat Notre Dame.
Sam Pinner is the center, in for Brent Gibson. 2nd down, quickly Kent in the open field. Look out, Joey Kent for the touchdown, Tennessee.
Tennessee wanted to play from the very start of the game. They wanted to play fast offense. This is what they're referring to. Quick hitting strikes. Like this one to Joey Kent. The ball is caught in his hands. You're not going to catch that guy from behind once he breaks the line of scrimmage.
54 yards for Tennessee's first points, and Hall's extra point, he missed it. That's a huge miss. It's a 7-point game now. 13-6, third quarter.
Huh? Is your dandruff sending the wrong signals? Get Selsun Power. Doctors recommend Selsun Blue #1, so don't send the wrong signals. Get Selsun Power.
Hey, Washington, listen to me.
I own this country.
You work for me.
I am tired of politicians selling out to special interests.
I won't waste my vote this time.
I'm voting for Roth.
Because you own this country.
Make a difference.
Hey, what's up, John?
Hey, what's up, man?
Watch the curve.
Yeah, well, driving like my grandmother.
Yeah, and you drink like mine.
Just give me a break, man. Watch it. The idea is to keep the car on the road.
Yeah. How about give me another drink? Yeah, right. I think you've had enough. I think you're right. Give me the wheel. Yeah, hold on, man.
I got it, man.
Yo, man, just slow down, man. Yeah, man.
Let me tell you about giving the bell.
Peyton Manning became Tennessee's second all-time passer. With that 54-yard hookup, he moved past Jeff Francis, trailing only Andy Kelly on the all-time list. Kent, in fact, goes over 100 yards for the 7th straight game. But the extra point means a touchdown, and the PAT would not beat Alabama, but would take them into overtime. Flags flying west out to the 22, and Alabama could be looking at a starting field position at about the 10. Rutledge and White combined and on a blow there, and both are rattled by that contact.
It's a huge. That'll be a huge loss for Alabama if they lose Rod Rutledge, one of the tight ends. He and Hape have combined to really make part of the running game for Gene Stallings go.
First chance Alabama had all day to run back a kick. One went out of bounds. The only other one Tennessee had all day, but this was the leading kickoff return team in the country. Over 30 yards of return.
Block in the back on the return team at the 18-yard line and be penalized back to the 9.
Red White helped off the field, as is Rutledge.
Kind of see the collision right there. Both guys took a real hit.
Both dazed, but both able to walk to the sideline under their own power. Start Alabama on this series at the 9. Hit by Al Wilson, who was shaken up earlier, but now returns. How quickly they struck here.
Tennessee loves to spread you out across the field and take advantage of their speed. They isolate you one-on-one. Kevin Jackson's the defensive back. He allowed Joey Kent to release inside. Once he did, there's no safety man. That's what gives up big plays when you're playing man-to-man coverage tight like that.
Second down and 9. Riddle with room to the 15. Jonathan Brown got a little piece of the foot to slow him down. Well, tell me about that extra point being shanked, what that means.
You know, it was such a huge kick, and watching it, he just pushed the ball a little bit to the right. What it means is that the game has a great chance of going into overtime.
Hape comes in at the last moment. 3rd down and 4. 3 minutes to go, third quarter.
Rod Rutledge, the tight end who was injured, is back in as well. And this is the combination that they like right there, the two tight ends side by side.
Just beat the play clock. Kitchens sacked at the 5. Jonathan Brown has a sack for the 5th straight game. Ron Green also in there.
Jonathan Brown, number 91, has come up big all of the time, the last 4 games. He once again comes up big. Alabama tries to run a play-action pass into the boundary. There's not a whole lot of room in there. It's a difficult play to execute.
Stockton got it away. Copeland's the return man at the 40. Down near the 35. 35 yards away from a touchdown and a point after that would tie it. Westmoreland a little shaken. There is a flag in the area of the tackle.
I believe it's going to be against Alabama. Personal foul.
Now, personal foul penalty would be 15 yards in football at the 20.
We have a dead ball, personal foul, and the defensive team is 15 yards. First down.
All the way down to the 20 at Neyland Stadium. Well over 100,000 on a rainy afternoon in Knoxville. It was 3-0 at halftime. Alabama scoring just before the intermission. And then 10 quick points to start the second half, but Tennessee just scored a moment ago, a 54-yard hookup. Graham tackled at the 21 by Buckner, a 1-yard loss. Riddle's run set up the field goal by Cunningham. Then in the third quarter, West 40-yard catch and run, 10-0. Then after interception by Townsend, another Cunningham field goal from 25. Tennessee just got on the board for the first time, 13-6 to 6, not 7. Extra point was missed. Timeout called by Alabama. 1:31 to go, third quarter. Alabama 13, Tennessee 6. Been a little concern here so far, but sniffing the goal line right now that could send Tennessee into a tie ball game here. 13-6. Ball at the Alabama 21. Change in a hurry. You got Peyton Manning, his play calling ability.
You start thinking about all the big plays in this game, going back to the missed extra point right after the Tennessee score, to the opening play of the game where Tennessee had Nash wide open, where he dropped the ball. There's been opportunities galore for both teams.
Second down, 11. They're blitzing. Manning reads it. Ball deflected away at the last moment. It was Kevin Jackson.
That pass had touchdown written all over it.
Boy, did it.
Alabama came with the blitz. Peyton Manning can beat you with his head and his arm. Audibilizing, the mental part of it is harder than the physical part. When they come, he just doesn't quite have enough steam on that ball can't quite get it in there quickly enough. It looked like it was going to be 6.
Good effort by McCullough trying to run down the batted ball in the corner of the end zone. 3rd and 11. A fumbled exchange, and Bama has it. Just when you thought the tide had turned, Alabama recovers the fumble. Dwayne Rudd.
Once again, Peyton Manning was checking the play off. Oftentimes when you're doing that, it's a problem, and Sam Pinner is the backup center. Remember, that's not the starting center. That's not Brent Gibson. 59 is Sam Pinner, and that is what affected Peyton Manning. He pulled out just a little early. The center and the quarterback weren't quite comfortable with one another.
Riddle out to the 27. Stallings with Love, one of those long drives right now. Burn off some of the clock, move it well into the 4th quarter with that 7-point lead.
I promise you, Peyton Manning right now is telling David Cutcliffe up in the press box, I didn't get the ball. It was a little short. He pulled out just a little bit, and there we've got the center talking it over with him, Sam Pinner as well.
Second and 4. Riddle, that's the 1st down for Alabama. Well, it's Bear Bryant football. You said it from the start here at Alabama. Gene Stallings, he said no sense talking about it when asked about being in this national championship race, but overlooked by many. He said, we beat the teams on our schedule. We're going to play for it, and that's really true. They were able to go on through unbeaten, then play Florida, and that would be on the schedule.
And he said he didn't talk a lot about the national championship. He talked about each week, take one game at a time, and if you win the ones you're supposed to, you're going to play for the national championship.
Riddle, look at him keep his balance. He's near 150 yards rushing and knocked out of bounds at the 49. Patrick Haight with some kind of block.
The wing formation has really helped Alabama today. Patrick Haight lines up at the wing along with Rutledge as a tight end, and it creates a soft spot on the corner against the Tennessee defense. And that is what's allowing Dennis Riddle to find the running room in that defense.
11 seconds to go, 3rd quarter. Montoya Madden comes in for Riddle, who gets a rest.
Dennis Riddle has had 28 carries for 150 yards. Remember, they wanted 200 yards rushing.
Madden goes low to advance the football into Tennessee territory. They won't have to travel far to switch ends. We've got 1 quarter to go. The 7th-ranked team in the country leads the number 6 team in the country by 7. We'll be back after this word from your local station.
Plymouth Neon. Plymouth Breeze. Plymouth Voyager. Plymouth Prowler.
Al, what are you doing?
Join us in the Emerald Isle as Lou Holtz tries to put the fight back in the Irish. Notre Dame battles the boys from Navy. CBS goes to Ireland. Just watch.
CBS, welcome home.
This electric heat is just not keeping the house warm. I don't know what to do.
I've got my gas heat on a cold winter day, and when it's cold outside, I got my gas heat today.
Gas heat is so warm and comfortable. I love my gas.
Be wise. Be energy wise. Call Chattanooga Gas at 1-800-GAS-LINE.
This is a special bulletin from North Georgia Toyota in Dalton. The 96 model clearance continues at full speed with Rocktober rock bottom prices. Check out this deal. Your choice of a new Tercel or new Tacoma, only $10,988 or just $208 a month. Or how about a new Corolla for only $13,298 or just $255 a month? These are not leases. You own it. And remember, at North Georgia Toyota, we'll pay off your trade no matter what you owe. That's North Georgia Toyota on Walnut Avenue in Dalton.
When pro football player Reggie White comes home to Chattanooga, he's constantly on the go catching up with family and friends. And when you have a family as big and as many friends as Reggie does, it can get quite expensive. That's why Reggie carries the Edge Card. Reggie knows his Edge Card is good for discounts at great restaurants, concerts, and sporting events, even on flowers. Learn how to get your Edge Card by calling 757-6500.
Get the savings, get the edge.
WDEF News 12, your home for Tennessee football.
We're back to start the fourth quarter. Dennis Riddle watching from the sidelines right now as Montoya Madden is in the backfield. Jim Nance, Terry Donahue, Michelle Tafoya. Bama leading by 7. Madden on second down and 7. No gain. Billy Barron got there first.
That was
built up too.
That was a big defensive stop right there for Tennessee because they put Alabama in a position Alabama does not perform well in, 3rd and long yardage. So when you can stop Alabama on second down, they have a problem. The advantage is with Tennessee.
As the rain intensifies, so does the drama. 3rd down and 9. Riddle returns. Kitchen wanting to throw. Awkward pass in the area of Vaughn and a flag thrown. They're going to get the interference call against Terry Fair.
Terry Fair is covering man-to-man against Michael Vaughn, and you cannot hold on. You can't push off with either man, either offensively or defensively. Terry Fair pushing off right there is called for the penalty.
Oh, let's see here. Now they're...
Defensive pass interference, be 15 yards, automatic first down.
Florida State leading Virginia 21-17 as they start the fourth quarter.
Wow, what a ball game going on there.
Kitchen's pass was very strange looking. We know it's slippery out there, but well, you can see why.
Tyrone
right
Hines.
On the wrist.
Tyrone Hines really knocked his wrist right there. Kitchens is a guy that's banged up. He's got bad ribs. He's got bad wrists. This guy, but he's a warrior. The players love him. They love to be around him because he has the mindset of a football player. Guys rally to that.
From the 35 of Tennessee. Riddle outside with room. Oh, what a hit. What a tackle by Parker. He got his 39th career start today. Jason Parker had missed the tackle. Riddle may have been at least to the 20 or beyond.
No question about it. Jason Parker saves a touchdown run because there is outside air in the defense, and Jason Parker comes up to make an open field tackle against a good back. Is one of the most difficult things any defensive back has to execute.
Hall and Buchanan in as receivers, 2nd and 6. Holding on to that football with 2 hands when he got into traffic is Riddle.
Fans love to see explosions on offense. They love to have high-scoring games, but coaches love this kind of game. This is football. This is what you love. Your defensive team slugging it out with your offense. The trenches are so important. The offensive and defensive lines. It's raining. Guys have mud on themselves. This is what football is all about, as far as I'm concerned.
Trevis Smith, number 48, lined up as a fullback out of the eye. He caught a pass in the first half, 3rd and 3. And Riddle, I think he has it. Billy Ratliff on the tackle. First down, Alabama. You said look for Riddle to carry the football about 30 times today. Well, 31 already for 161.
And it isn't over yet.
And one of your numbers today was 200 yards rushing.
Alabama hits the 200-yard mark in the running game. They've got a great chance to win the game. They're at 169 right now.
Riddle will lose a little bit on that one. Ratliff backing him up, too. Alabama's accustomed to controlling the football in the fourth quarter this season. Again, 7-0 on the year.
You never know how this game is going to turn out, but this is exactly the situation that Gene Stallings and his staff envisioned for themselves prior to the game. As far as they're concerned, the cards are being dealt their way right now. And old Smokey, I'm not sure if he's falling asleep or exactly what's going on.
He can't even watch. He's so nervous about this. 2nd down and 12. Madden doubled up by King and Ron Green.
Ron Green is one of the players who have come up big recently for the Tennessee defense. He slants to the inside and quick enough to get back outside to make that positive play for that defense. Again, they put Alabama now in 3rd and 12. This is not where Alabama wants to be in down and distance.
Well, if they go to the air and fail to complete it, they would have a 43-yard field goal try. They did move the ball to the middle of the field on that last carry. 3rd down and 12 and a timeout called because they were going to lose 5 on the down clock. We'll be right back.
FedEx uses over 500 airplanes to handle your 2-day package. Cost? About $12.
UPS uses over 500 airplanes to handle your 2-day package. Cost? About $6.
The U.S. Postal Service uses over 15,000 airplanes to handle your priority mail 2 to 3-day package. Cost? $3.
So, 12, 6, 3, what's your priority? Priority mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
CBS Sports coverage of college football is sponsored by Nissan, who reminds you that life is a journey. Enjoy the ride. Philips Magnavox, bringing the power of the internet to your own television. And by Priority Mail from the U.S. Postal Service.
106,000 plus at Neyland Stadium. It's the largest crowd that Alabama has ever played in front of, and the Tide just called another timeout. They have 1 timeout now, facing 3rd and 12.
Well, you hate to burn a timeout, but Freddie Kitchens made a great call. He saved himself 5 yards.
Play action. Kitchens zips it. Look out! Look out! It's fair. Kitchens has an angle on him. Terry Fair in for the touchdown. Now they've got a flag down back at the 28. the Tennessee sideline. Oh, one of the last blockers down there called for clipping. Wow. To nullify the touchdown. Terry Fair, who had been a little damaged with the ankle in this half, had sat out some.
The coaches all week long talked about turnovers. Marcel West runs down, turns around. Terry Fair just makes a great break on the ball, and he's one of the fastest players on the Tennessee team. Right there, Kitchens gives a good effort, but there is a clip. You saw it. Couldn't quite get the number, but definitely a clip.
Football at the 43. Looked like Ratliff.
Billy Ratliff, number 40, definitely a block in the back. Good call by the official.
Instead of a 90-yard run back that could have tied it with the point after, Tennessee from the 43. Manning looks left, throws, short gain to Nash. That was Fair's second interception of the day, and we had just been talking during the commercial about how Terry Fair did not look 100% of this half with his ankle.
Well, he really didn't. In fact, Copeland went in and received a punt in his place because his ankle's bothering him. But players come up with big plays in big games, and Terry Fair certainly did in that case. But again, remember, it was 3rd and 8. That's not Alabama's forte.
2nd and 5. Brent Gibson has come back at center for Penner. Receiver on the ground, Joey Kent. The wizardry of Joey Kent picks up a first down at the 24.
What a play. You want to see why the guy is the best receiver in the history of the University of Tennessee. He falls on the ground, but he recovers enough. The ball hits him right in the hands. Peyton Manning, excellent throw, knowing his receiver was down on the ground.
Kent, 6 catches, 125 yards.
What a play that was.
Had Townsend not fallen down, he may have had a shot at an interception. Volunteers on first down, over to Nash. Now they're picking up steam, and a late hit will move the football near the 5. Fernando Bryant belted him out of bounds.
Marcus Nash dropped the opening play of the game, but he didn't drop this one. He comes up big when he needs to. Alabama hits late, out of bounds. It's a definite penalty. Good call by the official. Fernando Bryant has to keep his poise in that particular case.
Personal foul, hitting out of bounds. The distance, the half the distance to the goal line. First down.
How fast a game can turn around with just a mistake or two, a mental mistake. That's just a mental error right there.
First and goal to go. Tennessee from the 5. Graham. Give it to him. Touchdown, Tennessee.
The game against Alabama last year with a 75-yard touchdown run. He puts him on the scoreboard here, finally making his presence felt, but he's down. He's down before he gets the ball into the end zone. Bad call by the official.
Now the extra point, missed the last time. Ball to tie it. Dead center. Well, it was first and goal, and it looked like Graham had the knee down early, but it looked also as though there was no stopping Tennessee after that interception. The game is tied with 9:41 remaining.
What an extraordinary time to be a child. Now that we can surf the internet through our TVs, the world is literally at their fingertips. Children are our future. The better we make the world for them, the better we make the world for us.
Web TV from Philips Magnavox. The power of the internet now on your own television.
The newly designed Nissan Maxima. It's attracting a lot of attention. Critics say A+, brilliant, classic. Strong words about a bold new series. Easy Streets, CBS Sunday, contains adult content.
All tied, 9:41 remaining. Alabama was down deep in Tennessee territory on third down. Had they just had an incomplete pass, they could have been attempting a field goal to go up 10. Instead, Terry Fair intercepts. Tennessee scores the touchdown. West runs it back to the 25 and lets go down to the sideline for Michelle Tafoya.
All right, Jim. Well, Tennessee's been getting much improved play from its offensive line after a confrontation between Phil Fulmer and Robert Poole, who got chastised for the poor offensive line play. As Fulmer walked away, Poole shouted back at him, but a teammate calmed him down by saying, "Show him he's wrong." And so far, Poole's been doing that, but this harkens back to earlier in the season when Poole felt he was being unfairly blamed for the poor offensive line play by the coaching staff and the media, Jim.
Well, in that series, the offense just went 43 yards in 4 plays. Really clicking, and now the Tennessee defense awakens. Ratliff and Wilson.
The dilemma that Alabama's in right now is that they can run the ball, but you've got to be able to loosen up the defense with some play-action passing. You've got to have some confidence in your quarterback. And Kitchens, Freddie Kitchens, is a player who makes big plays, but he also makes some big mistakes because of his inexperience. It's not going to happen his whole career, but it's happening to him right now. He's just got to fight through it.
2nd and 11. Kitchens, well, trying to buy time. And now there are 5 volunteers in the area.
Sometimes it's not just the defensive front that causes the sack, but the secondary plays well. Tennessee is in a zone defense. They've got all of the receivers are covered. There's nowhere for Freddie Kitchen to go with the ball. The secondary has just done a great job taking the pass away.
3rd and long for Bama. With 8:12 clock running, 3rd and 13. Kitchens, dangerous pass that would have lost yardage had it been caught by Travis Smith. Not a good decision.
Again, Freddie Kitchens has nowhere to go downfield with the ball, so he lays it off to the flat. When you're 3rd and 12, it's not a good throwing decision. You have no chance to make the first down in that kind of a situation.
Stockton, he had heavy pressure last time. Copeland again is the return man, not Terry Fair, the nation leader.
Great punch.
Copeland, 33-yard line, down at the 37. So we have a half quarter to play in regulation. 13-13.
Their goals are as basic as a first home, an education, a secure retirement. Yet they own over half of all the stock in America.
They are individual investors, and for them, nothing is more valuable than information. Today, NASDAQ is delivering news about companies, performance tracking, even timely stock quotes, instantly. So if you're an investor who seeks vital information, you now know where to find it.
The newly designed Nissan Maxima. It's attracting a lot of attention.
The CBS Star of College Football Today is sponsored by Nissan, who remind you that life is a journey. Enjoy the ride.
Let's see how your French is. Do you know what étoile du jour means? Star of the day. Very good. Now, stars of the day, we're going to give it to the entire offensive line at Northwestern.
They're all seniors, and I have no idea about French, by the way. Hey, this offensive line today gave Steve Schnurr the opportunity to throw the ball and Adrian Autry to rush for 128 yards. Darnell wasn't there, but Adrian showed up, and that offensive line, the big boys get the star of the day in that French word, he said.
And in any language, they are good. Back to the game.
That's a good one, too.
Northwestern unbeaten in the Big Ten. It's only lost to Wake Forest. Manning in the second half, 7 of 9, 128 yards.
Alabama last year was his big coming out game. He's in a position to win the game for Tennessee this year as well. This is a huge series for Tennessee.
No way can Manning even get a thought of throwing that ball. Dwayne Rudd, bull rushed.
The reason Dwayne Rudd is a Butkus finalist is the fact that he can come and put the pressure on the quarterback. He comes with the blitz. Again, it's not characteristic of Mike DuBose, the defensive coordinator, to blitz in this area of the field. Great call by DuBose.
Distinguished list of semifinalists for the Butkus Award. Manning up top, looking for Kent. No flag. Fernando Bryant on the coverage.
You got to be impressed with the way Tennessee is going to go after Alabama. The first play was a pass. They come right back trying to hit Kent. Kent gets off the line of scrimmage. Fernando Bryant covers him well. The ball is right where it needs to be, but it's just a great defensive play by Fernando Bryant. That's a great play.
Third down, 3rd and 17. They have not converted all day, and this time they must cover 17 yards to pick up the first. Manning lost it. Ball caught near the 50. Peerless Price for 20 yards. First down.
It's almost a repeat of exactly the play before, except this time it's Peerless Price. Alabama is up and bumping run coverage. The wide receiver gets off. Manning lays the ball up beautifully. Reception, first down, Tennessee.
Wow, just inside 7 minutes remaining. It's what Philip Fulmer told Michelle going to the locker room at halftime. That one-on-one coverage, we should be able to exploit it at some time.
And there's some big plays out there to be had.
Over the top. That could have been intercepted.
What helps you as an offensive coach when you have a player like Peyton Manning and you have wide receivers like Tennessee does, it gives you the ability to play wide open. You don't have to be conservative because you've got one of the best quarterbacks in the country. You have a guy that the entire program, the entire university community believes in, and then you've got speed out there. So Philip Fulmer, he has a chance along with David Cutcliffe to be wide open, to spread out and go ahead and gamble.
2nd and 10, Graham. Knocked down by Myers and Jackson. It'll be 3rd and 8. And about 6.5 remaining before they even snap the next one. Florida off this week before the Georgia encounter, and Ohio State got the early edge on Iowa. Florida State with a battle that many didn't expect, although Virginia 13th in the country.
The team on the West Coast, Arizona State, have they had a year, and are they right now playing as well as they're capable of?
3rd down and 8. Here comes the rush again, and Alabama will will get the football back. Manning sacked by Ralph Staten and Tyrell Buckner. Sack number 5 of the day by Alabama.
Ralph Staten he's got speed and more speed. It allows Alabama to go ahead and bring heat from the corner. He's the guy that can play linebacker, can blitz like a secondary player, and that's exactly what he does. He's come up big several times today.
Chad Goss is the return man. Clock running, 5.5 to go. No pressure on the punter. Binion off the side of the foot, but it won't hurt Tennessee too much. Ball down at the 20. 5:33 remaining. Tie ball game.
Document Company, Xerox.
The newly designed Nissan Maxima. It's attracting a lot of attention.
Take a stroll down memory lane at the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
You crushed my knee, was your toes. You broke my ribs, it was your nose. Ah, yes, I remember it well. You sacked me once. I sacked you twice. In pouring rain. No, it was night. Ah, yes.
But when you go, don't forget your Visa card, because the Hall takes the NFL's best, but not American Express.
See ya, Nitschke.
It's Butkus.
Oh, yeah.
Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
CBS tonight. A prosecutor and her father are targeted by a hit squad.
Get back!
How can Chuck Norris keep them both alive? Walker, CBS tonight.
What will be Alabama's strategy on offense? Freddie Kitchens having a tough day. 6 of 14, 3 passes intercepted.
But you got to remember, he is 7-0 as a starter. That's the one redeeming quality.
There's Riddle. Boy, that doesn't hurt you. Almost a 20-yard run. Give him 19 and out of bounds at the 39. Michael Vaughn, the receiver, helped clear out that side.
And again, Patrick Haight, along with Michael Vaughn, they throw the key blocks. They are the ones that seal the corner for Alabama and allow the back, Dennis Riddle, to get outside. The wing formation, either slotted or off the line, that has been the formation that has hurt the Tennessee defense the most today. And Patrick Happ has been the guy. Patrick Haight.
First down, it's Riddle again. Near the 45, about 6. And the rest of the top 10, you'll run into these two as you look at the next 5. Alabama 7-0, ranked 7th. The slot behind Tennessee, and the AP poll are actually reversed in the coaches poll. Colorado, North Carolina. Colorado in a fight today with the Longhorns. Second down, 4. 4:50 to go, clock running. No gain for Riddle.
No, but it was a good, smart play. Did you notice there was a few more feet in that run, but instead of taking the ball out of bounds, he kept it inbounds, which keeps the clock moving. I'll tell you, I know Gene Stallings saw it, and I guarantee he'd hug that guy right now if he could get his hands on him. That was a very good play by Dennis Riddle.
3rd and 3. Is close. I don't think he has it. going to be less than a yard shy. Ron Green got him by the ankles.
Dennis Riddle has carried the ball time and time again, come up successfully, but the Tennessee defense responds here. He's about a half-yard short of the first down. Alabama is going to punt the ball.
Well, they marked it all the way back at the 47. Copeland back to return. 3:20 to go. Clock still running. Stockton. Oh, and you see some of the guys from Tennessee not aware of where the football is, and you hold your breath if you're Philip Fulmer. But it does not touch a volunteer. The ball is down at the 22. Peyton Manning comes onto the field with 3:11 remaining, trying to direct Tennessee to a win and drive them. With this rain and the way the kicking game has been today, you have to think to about the 30 of Alabama to have a shot at a winning field goal.
And you've got the drama of one of the best quarterbacks in the country, Peyton Manning, playing into the teeth of one of the best defenses in the country in Alabama.
Back up Tennessee 5.
Big Chad Clifton, the right tackle, got a little bit jumpy and just jumped off sides there.
All that shifting around by Alabama may have crossed up the freshman right tackle.
Alabama's been stemmed.
Illegal start by the offensive lineman. It'll be 5 yards. Replay first down.
All day long, Alabama has been stemming their front. They line up one place, and then at the last minute, they go ahead and move. And when they move, it affects players at the line of scrimmage. Right there, you see the movement. The big old tackle jumps.
1st and 15 from the 17. Graham popped at the 20. In this game, there was just the lone field goal in the first half. That by Brian Cunningham. 3rd quarter, West wide open, 40-yard strike. Then after an interception, Alabama added 3 more, 13-0. The quick hit, Manning to Kent, 54 yards, extra point missed. Tennessee tied it on a Graham 5-yard run set up by the Terry Fair interception. And that's where it stands right now, 13-13, 2:35 remaining. 2nd and 12. Graham, gaping hole. Graham breaks the tackle. Touchdown, Tennessee! 79 yards. A senior season of frustration turned around on 1 carry by Jay Graham. And Tennessee takes the 20-13 lead with 2:17 remaining.
You haven't heard us mention a fullback's name for Tennessee all day long, but watch the fullback, Eric Lane, make the block that springs him for the long run. And look at the hole after the block. And the only guy who can make the play is number 20, Kelvin Ziegler. He misses the play. He's got to make that play as a safety man. A free safety has got to make that play to stop the long touchdown run. Look at the size of this hole.
Jay Graham, who came to Tennessee to not only play football, but to also run track in the 100 meters. His sister Kim won gold in Atlanta this year as a member of the United States 4x400 relay team. And this was a full sprint, 79 yards. He was the one who last year, when Alabama tried to crawl back into the game down at Legion Field, broke open the game with a 75-yard touchdown run also down the right sideline.
Unbelievable. What a heck of a run.
Unanswered by Tennessee. Vaughn on the return. Vaughn takes a wicked hit by Craig King at the 23. So now Freddie Kitchens must lead Alabama back with 2:11 remaining.
This is a situation that quarterbacks grow up in. They've got to learn to get through these kind of difficult environments. Freddie Kitchens is going to be pushed to the limit in this case against that Tennessee defense in this crowd.
Alabama has only one timeout. Kitchens almost intercepted by Raymond Austin, who had a pick in the first half also. The last time Alabama won here, or Tennessee won here against Alabama, was back in 1984. 5 straight times the Tide has come in here and beaten Tennessee on its home turf.
Well, you got to give Tennessee credit, down 13-0 for their defense and offensive teams to respond like that. They've got some character.
2nd and 10. Kitchens airing it out long. Hall is there. Oh, he had it for a moment at the 40. Calvin Hall looked like he should have made the catch there, Terry.
You can't blame Freddie Kitchens for this throw. Calvin Hall has a cast on his right hand. One of the reasons he probably could not come up with the ball is because of that cast.
3rd down, 3rd and 10. Going long again. Vaughn is there. Vaughn makes the catch. Alabama has it near the Tennessee 20. Yards to Michael Vaughn.
Well, what about Freddie Kitchens? He comes back with another perfect throw after having a tough day. And Terry Fair, the guy who made the huge interception a few minutes ago, gets beat on this play. And Michael Vaughn, who set the Mississippi high school record for 40 touchdowns, he comes up with the play. Look at the concentration.
Oh, it almost came out, too. He caught more touchdowns, that is, than any player in Mississippi history. And he has the football at the 22. 22 of Tennessee, 147, 1 timeout for Bama. Tate with the run to the 16.
That timeout that Alabama burned earlier in the game, it was a good call at the time. It was a thing to do, but that timeout will come back to haunt Alabama.
That was the timeout, too, where they came out of it and threw the interception to Fair.
It absolutely was, but Kitchens made a good call because he was running out of time. The play came in late from the sideline.
2nd and 4. To the line quickly inside 120. Riddle. Met right away by Tyrone Hines. And Kitchens wants to take their final timeout. They'll have 3rd and 4, I believe.
Regardless of how this game turns out, Freddie Kitchens is going to grow from this experience. This is a marvelous opportunity for him to blossom as a quarterback. He's down there, he throws a pass to Calvin Hall. Hall makes a great effort, doesn't hang on to it. He comes right back with another deep ball to Michael Vaughn. That's what's going to make the quarterback blossom. And he's just a young player. Although he's a junior, he's a young player in terms of experience.
He's talked about it recently about, people were saying, hey, how about some of the decision-making out there? And he's, I'm not a guy who's been a 3-year starter or a 2-year starter. This, in fact, is his 10th game of his career as the starting quarterback and really surfaced for the first time last year in the game against Tennessee, where he came in replacement of Brian Bergdorf.
And it takes time. That experience is invaluable. Repetitions on the practice field, repetitions in game competition. That's how the quarterback grows.
Well, tomorrow night, Ken Olin heads an all-star cast in grade A level material, according to People magazine. That's 2 hours preview. Special show, Easy Streets tomorrow, CBS. You should be there. Meanwhile, no easy street here for Tennessee's defense, trying to shut down Alabama with 1:08 to go. 3rd down and 4. Kitchens, is there a flag? Hines looked to be on his back, no call. It'll be 4th down. Hines knocked it away. That was awful close coverage.
The Alabama coaches felt that the best defensive player on the field was Tyrone Hines, the middle linebacker for Tennessee. West is in at tight end. He runs an inside route, but it's just a great play by Tyrone Hines. He's got a hold of the back, but he reaches around. The official didn't see him have a hold of that jersey with his left hand.
Here we go, 4th and 4. 4th down. Must get to the 12 to have any hope. Riddle still on his feet. Riddle, where will they mark it? They gave him the 1st down when he should have been stopped near the 20.
What an individual effort by Dennis Riddle. The guy has played like a warrior all day long. We see Kitchen throw a swing pass to the outside. He gets hit behind the line of scrimmage. He does it on individual effort right there.
Look,
just great strength.
It's ball game at that point. It is going to be ball game. Game is over. They spotted at the 11. 1st down, Alabama. 56 seconds.
But you're talking about a guy that has been almost a 1,000-yard rusher. He wants that 1,000 yards this year. He's competing like every football player wants to compete.
No timeouts. 1st down from the 11. Kitchens avoids the sack. Now just throws it away.
Smart play by Freddie Kitchens right there. He needed to get rid of the ball. He stops the clock. He's got downs enough to win the football game. The time is the enemy right now. He's got downs. He just needed to get that clock stopped. Good play by him. Ray Austin locked up man-to-man against Vaughn. Got his hand in his face mask right there. Officials are going to let him play here at the end of the game like that.
2nd down, 10, and even 50 seconds remaining. Kitchens to the end zone and almost intercepted by Fair. All looked to bump him for a moment there. Fair already with 2 interceptions today.
Unless you get a real violent interference play, you don't want to make a call in this area of the field. That's just 2 players going for the ball. Somebody shoves off, they're both shoving off as far as I'm concerned.
Now 3rd down. Touchdown and an extra point to send this game into overtime. Man open. Haith was open and he was overthrown.
Billy Ratliff, number 40, put the pressure on Kitchens. Excellent pass rush that time. Haith was wide open. Kitchens just didn't have quite enough time to get the ball to the tight end. He runs a little corner route. He pushes off. He is open. But the pressure from Billy Ratliff, number 40, is what disrupted the play.
Well, they've converted once on 4th down on a superhuman effort by Riddle. They had the 3rd down pass play for 56 yards. Is it a day of destiny for the Crimson Tide? 4th and 10, 39 seconds. Kitchens, ball deflected, stripped away. Tennessee football, Volunteers will win.
Watch Leonard Little, number 1 against Pete DeMario. He's the guy that gets his hand on that ball and takes it out of Freddie Kitchens' arm.
And Little shaken up after stripping the ball, hit by his own teammate, Jonathan Brown. Philip Fulmer's team responds, coming back from a 13-0 deficit in the third quarter. They still harbor hopes of somehow working their way back into the championship picture. They need some help.
It would not be unrealistic to believe that this team could eventually end up playing Florida again in the Sugar Bowl. A lot of things would have to happen, but Tennessee could win out from this point on and have a chance at getting ultimately what they want so badly, the national championship.
Tennessee will be heavily favored in its last 5 regular season games, and in fact has not lost a game in November in the 90s. And that also has something to do with the fact Kentucky and Vanderbilt are always in that equation in November, but they'll be favored the rest of the way. They could go 10-1, and if someone like Colorado beats Nebraska, it could be Florida and Tennessee in the Sugar Bowl.
Absolutely could happen. What an effort by both teams. Philip Fulmer, Gene Stallings, both had their clubs ready to play. It was a great college football game.
This was college football, SEC style through the years. Peyton Manning grew up as a little boy. He had a quote from Jimmy Connors hanging up in his room down in New Orleans. It said, "I hate to lose more than I like to win." I tell you, as a coach, you could probably relate to that.
I think a lot of athletes and coaches can. Sometimes the pain and defeat is much greater than the exhilaration of the victory.
Quite a scene down on the field at Neyland Stadium, and down there's Michelle Tafoya.
All right, I'm with Jay Graham, who scored a 79-yard touchdown run. I know you've been waiting for a breakout game. Do you feel like this was it?
That was a great play by the offensive line. I can't take all the credit, and I'd like to say thank you to God for giving me the ability to do that. They played hard, and I'm just grateful that I was able to be a part of that.
All right, thanks a lot. Let's turn now. Wait a minute, Jim and guys. They're going to have a team prayer. We'll get back to you with Phil Fulmer momentarily. Back upstairs to you, Jim.
Well, Tennessee was in a desperate situation, down 13-0 before fighting back. Now let's go back down there to Michelle.
All right. All right, with Phil Fulmer, what a game you said at halftime. You needed big plays to come back and win this. Alabama found the first few big plays, but then Terry Fair and Jay Graham found it for you.
There's 2 great teams going at each other, and the best rivalry in the South, one of the best rivalries in the South. I'm proud of our football team, and I think Coach Stallings is probably very proud of his. It's a classic Southeastern Conference battle. I cannot say enough for the heart of our football team.
Congratulations, Coach Jim.
Congratulations, Philip Fulmer. And to Tennessee, they'll be singing Rocky Top through the night. For Terry Donahue, Michelle Tafoya, Jim Nance saying so long from Knoxville, Tennessee.
The topical pain reliever arthritis specialist choose